Hello, welcome back to H Hour. My guest today is Lee Matthews. Before we get on to that, there is a short episode before this podcast with Lee. It is the Icebreaker episode, H Hour Icebreaker with Lee Matthews. If you haven't listened to that or watched that, go back in your app, in your podcast app or on YouTube, wherever you are, to that episode. And I suggest you watch that first. It's about 20 minutes long and it is a Q&A with Lee. And the questions were submitted by H Hour patrons in advance of the episode. They got access to the guest list. They submitted questions specifically for Lee, and he answered most of those. There's some carryover which he didn't have time for, which we're gonna hit at the end of this podcast. But I do suggest you go back to that episode beforehand. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can roll straight into this and then listen to that later on. Do what you want. Either way you do it, you're going to enjoy it because the guest is a fascinating individual. Fascinating, aren't you, Lee? Fascinating. Welcome to H Hour.
How you doing?
Good, mate. I'm good. I'm glad we could line this up. I'm glad we could line it up. One, because Para Reg,
Yeah.
meeting Veg, and two, because we were just talking off air. I love entrepreneurs. I love successful business people, especially if they're ex-military. I love learning from them. And three, because I am a big fan of mixed martial arts. I'm a big fan of boxing, kickboxing, all those kind of things.
Brilliant.
And obviously, you've just rolled out Total Kombat.
Yes.
How is that going? Looks like it's going very well.
It's going so well, actually. It's for once, the clouds are parting, things are aligning. And we seem to be having, don't get me wrong, we're working extremely hard. And it has took 30 years to become an overnight success.
How many?
But yeah, so things are going
30?
Well, I've been doing martial arts for 30 odd years. Without doing what I've done previously, wouldn't have put me into a position or have the network or the experience or the leadership qualities to do what we're doing now. So yeah, so Total Kombat is a new fight show. So we did the first event was in June this year, 2025, and that was at the Indigo at the O2 in London. So it's a sold out crowd.
How did you manage to secure that for the first event? That's good going.
This is what I'm saying. So you wouldn't get in normally, but just so happens that because I run a martial arts franchise as well called British Military Martial Arts. One of my franchisees, his partner, is head of AEG for the locations. So AEG is the sister company, well, the overriding umbrella company that owns the O2 and hundreds of other locations throughout the world. So she was able to not only get us in there, but get us a co-pro, so we're in partnership with them. So when the UFC was on this year at the O2, all of the Total Kombat stuff was being played all over. So it would cost us hundreds of thousands of pounds to have got that. And when you walk through to the O2 arena, has a footfall of around about 30,000 people a day, apparently, so we're told, which is unbelievable. All of our fighters are on the billboard and everything. So we're able to kind of create a level of exposure that would for our guys and our fighters that they wouldn't have got previously. So the whole kind of concept then is because I've done mat sports primarily. So I'm a world champion in kickboxing. So it was like semi-contact, light contact, and then moved on to full contact at the end. Yeah. So what we're targeting is high level amateur tatami sports, they call it, which is mat sports. Like karate, Taekwondo.
Tatami sports.
So what the mats are called tatamis. So it's matted sports, not ringed sports. So karate, Taekwondo, semi-contact and light contact kickboxing. So these are primarily the sports and the champions that we're bringing in, because these guys, you have to be a champion in your opposing disciplines. So it's all different styles coming to fight each other. Karate world champions, Olympic Taekwondo team members, kickboxing world champions. So primarily it was for these guys because they're amateurs. But as a world champion, as an amateur, as I know, you pay to go. You get to pay £1,000 every time you go away to fight and get a trophy. So it's very different to professionals. So initially, we wanted to create a platform because these guys, in my opinion, are some of the best strikers in the world. My teammate Michael Venom Page, he calls himself now. He's gone on to UFC and he's now winning. He's quite a well-known name, got millions of followers. But he came from our mat sports. He came from kickboxing. So what was happening is all our guys were getting really good, becoming champions, and then having to go to either boxing, Olympic Taekwondo, or MMA. So none of these are a straight transition. There's like, if you go in boxing, you're not kicking. If you go to MMA, you need to it took Michael 10 years of grappling to become competent enough to move himself into the UFC. So what we wanted to do is create a lane that people from our sports could go from amateur to pro, and a level of exposure and a level of excitement. Because these guys are the best strikers in the world, but if you watch some of the mat sports, it's shit as a spectator to watch. If you watch karate, if you watch Taekwondo or semi contact or light contact, they're not hitting hard enough in the light contact. In the semi contact and the karate, it's starting and stopping, and in Taekwondo, it's just mainly kicks, and you get hardly any points for a punch. So even though these guys are great strikers, the rules aren't allowing them to show off the skill set. So what we thought is we need to have a platform where all these guys can come together. And they can, under a full contact set of rules, but we removed the grappling, because grappling is very effective. Okay, don't get us wrong. I've grappled. I started on traditional jiu-jitsu when I was younger, and I've done Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well. But it's very effective, but it neutralizes the kicks, and to the point where it ruins it as a spectator sport. So if you look at the UFC, they've got a bit of a dilemma, because wrestling's now totally dominating everything, and it's getting boring for the spectators to watch. So what we needed to do is be creative in the way we could allow the rule sets to really show the skill sets off of these strikers. And now what's happening is we've got Thai boxers, we've got people from bare knuckle boxers, and all sorts of people that have come from all different cross styles to fight collectively. And they don't just fight on a matted area; they fight in a oval shaped arena we've created.
Oh yeah, I've seen the arena. So
yeah.
Are you allowed takedowns then?
So I'll go over the rules actually. So you can all strikes and kicks are above waist. So again, leg kicks are very effective, but it will neutralize effective kicking. Let's be honest, what's one of the best things you'll see when you see striking? A kick to the head, isn't it? Or what's even better is a spin kick or a jump kick. They go viral. That's normal in what we do. People are doing this all the time. But it's because the rest of the sport and the rule set and the whole setup of it isn't good enough. People aren't gonna be able to see it. So what we wanted to do is create a different platform, which is different to everyone, but also familiar, because it's made of mats, but then it's covered over. It's oval in shape, and it's got 1 meter slants around the outside. So the rules are: you can strike, punch, and kick above waist. You get more points. It's obviously full contact. You've got MMA gloves on, but it's the score. They add up the scores. So if you're not knocking them out, then they whoever wins the most points at the end of the 3 rounds wins the whole fight. It's not done round by round. You can lose the first 2, but if you get the most points overall, you'll win the fight at the end of the 3rd.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's your cumulative points. So it makes the last round exciting, because there's still a chance of winning. So there's no leg kicks, but you can grab legs, you can sweep, you can take down, you can hit on the floor. So you can hit them 3 times on the floor. So you punish people if they make a mistake. But what we wanted to do is we want risk takers. We want people to try, explosive and daring techniques. So they can, if you don't try, you're not going to do it, are you? We want people to land the spin kicks. So they're encouraged for head kicks and spin kicks. They get more points for that. And if they use the oval to push off or anything, or any creativity from that, then you'll see they get rewarded for it. But you don't need to understand the rules. That's the good thing. You could just watch combat taking place, and in my opinion, it's the best form of combat you'll ever see. It's just
from an entertainment perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a sprint, not a marathon. Not 5-minute rounds. You got 3 2-minute rounds. You can be fucking, anaerobic for that. Do you know what I mean? Like as a top level fighter, it's a sprint, and it's all about maximum work rate.
And did you treat the weight classes the same?
Yeah, we've got our weight classes. They're more in line with what the amateur ones are within kickboxing. But at the minute, we haven't got the fuller range of them. We're just doing certain ones. But then we're moving now, as it's building in popularity. We'll eventually have the full weight sections.
See, I was, I don't mind the grappling and the groundwork, but that's only because I understand it to a certain degree. I'm no ninja, but I've trained in various things over the years. I've never at any level in any of them, but it gives you a certain understanding of it, so I can appreciate the technical side of it.
Yeah.
But then it still is boring if you've got a 3 round as a UFC or whatever promotion you've got going on, and you're watching 3 rounds of, Nurmagomedov
Yeah.
just wrestling someone to the ground, and you think, because it can be better. It's just, if you got 2 strikers in there, it is boring. I can still appreciate it, but it's still boring. So yeah, it makes sense, mate. It makes sense. How did the first event go down? What was the reception like?
It was great, yeah. So we sold out the first event. We had quite a few important people down that came and watched it, and off the back of that, we've got a deal now with ITVX. So it's
mega.
going to be live streamed, the next one on 13th of September on ITV
congratulations.
and ITV4. Thank you.
It's not bad after one event, is it?
It's never ever happened. It's never happened in the history of combat sports. So I'm not going to put that on me. I've got a really great, well-connected business partner. We nearly got it on before we'd done it, just purely for the people that are involved and the production team, which are well known within the industry as well, and him, who's well known, Ben Achilles, his name is absolutely fundamental to the success of the company. But then we needed a proof of concept, and we got one. But this, the next show's stacked up to be even better than the last, because it's great and it did well, but that's not going to help you if you sit back and bask in what you did well. We want to rip it to pieces and go, right, how can we make it better? What do we do now to step up?
So how did you manage to fight a roster? Like, what was the roster looking like before you put that first event on? How did you manage the quality of people coming in?
Yeah.
How do you reject people? How does it all work? I've got no idea about how any of them do it. So it'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah, well, the main person who runs the actual show side is called Andy Cleves, and he's very well versed in that. He's one of the biggest. He's probably the biggest in the UK for running independent commercial ventures, and he runs something called the Bristol Open. That's about 2,500 people from 20 to 30 different countries. And then he runs GB Grand Slam, and he runs lots of other fight shows, Skill Striker. We did something called Zero to Hero together, a bare knuckle boxing one, and we had up to 3,000 people spectating some of these ones. Was creating like a user-friendly experience where Big Dave down the pub's fighting just flipping Big John from another town, and they'd bring hundreds of people to come and watch, and they'd never done anything before. So we know what to do to get people excited, to engage with people. We've got a lot of confidence from people that know us in the martial arts industry, which I think is fundamental. Trust. So when we're putting something together, we know all the coaches, we know a lot of the fighters. Oh yeah, you got something going on. We're selling it to them on what we're going to do. And then we have had we've got a big team of people on the social media. So before we did the first event, we were pushing it out. I mean, we went to I think we've got about 35,000 followers in 6 months. So that's not not amazing, but it's not bad. Yeah. We're posting 3 times a day, non-stop, and we've got a whole media team, monthly video in, fresh content coming out. So we've got a website, totalkombat.com, where people apply, and we had hundreds and hundreds of people. So it's about finding out which ones are in line with our brand and our brand values, because you don't need everybody involved. The fighters and the coaches, the way I look at it, are an extension of the brand. So if you've got the wrong people with the wrong values, you're in your business in any area, then that you're not really in line with what you're trying to be doing. It's going to change the dynamics. So we only pick the fighters that are super athletic, super committed, already a champion in some area, and that have got a following and a reputation in their own particular sports. Because a lot of people, if you remember the first UFCs, it was quite different. It was style versus style, wasn't it? You had their sumo wrestler.
They're so good to watch.
I know. So what we wanted to create a little bit of kind of the different styles versus each other. The age-old question, which style is best? We've got the world karate champion on the next one, Jordan Thomas. And he's fighting a kickboxing world champion from England. And then you've got an Olympic Taekwondo fighter, fighting a kickboxer. So it's the difference of styles. And if you know much about martial arts, like Olympic Taekwondo, I used to watch it and thought, that's wet, that's rubbish, that ain't going to work. When we watch that's because of the rule sets. These guys, the Olympic Taekwondo guys, train 3 times a day. It's like being in the fucking army, honestly, non-stop. They have professional nutritionists, massage, got everything. They're treated like a pro athlete, and their plyometrics, fast twitching muscle fibers. Once you put them in the oval, they're fucking dangerous. They're killing people. They're knocking them out with spin kicks. And they're coming from angles people aren't expecting. So it's really exciting when you see someone that can do that. And then they're fighting a karate world champion that's good at grabbing, sweeping, taking down, because they don't do that in Taekwondo. You're like, oh, how's this going to play out? Who's going to win? So for me, I'm like, me and the other directors, the other director is called Damon Sanson, and he was on the Olympic Taekwondo team. He was also a world champion. 3 of us were all world champions anyway, so we're all, grassroots involved in the sport. But we get really excited when we're creating the fight, because he creates the fight card. We're like, oh no, we're like children. Like, oh, that's going to be amazing. He's fighting him. So if you're not like that about that, if you're then you're not doing it right. If you're excited and you're knowledgeable in it, then that's the start of a great fight card that hopefully everyone else is going to, as long as you can communicate that message and get everyone to buy in to who's who, which is the big part of what we're doing now, is trying to really boost the profiles of the fighters, so people can buy into the stories of them and then get behind them.
Yeah, and do they have to have exclusivity to your promotion?
Not yet, no, not at this stage. As we get bigger, and maybe the key fighters will, but we've been speaking about this. I think as a fighter, and as we were all fighters, you get good by fighting, and you don't want to be like, just be kept exclusive, unless someone was becoming the face of it, and you can pay them well enough that it's justifiable to them to do that, then exclusivity would be good. But until that point, I think let people fight. We're for the martial arts. We want people to, get good and to spread out and to fight. So they can all fight. Say if they're a karate champion, they can all fight in the karate championships. Then obviously, as is something separate. It's like it's a pro one. So there's luckily so far all the amateur styles, the karate, taekwondo, and kickboxing, are all kind of behind it as well. No one's objecting to it or saying anything like they shouldn't be doing it or trying to stop them, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense from the perspective that, as you were mentioning, the profile and the following of people in their own sports, in the same way. So, and you're looking at those fighters like that, those sports will also benefit from Total Kombat raising the profile of their fighters, because you're raising the profile of Taekwondo. Just like talking about Taekwondo, raising the profile of Taekwondo, raising the profile of karate. And a lot of these arts have kind of been fallen by the wayside in public perception because of UFC stroke MMA, and a lot of people see those two things as just not synonymous, and that's not a great thing, because all these arts are really useful. I mean, it is a great time in the minute for I think for fight promotions.
It is,
because, because I think that mainly because looking at what I was going to mention again, what the UFC is doing, like they started branching out into other things like slap fighting. Yeah. And now they got the leg. Aren't they doing the leg kick one as well? Have you seen that one?
I saw that. Is that to do with UFC? I've seen it. I've seen it though, where they just stand there and they kick each other. Oh my god! The slap one and the kicking one.
Mate, it goes through me. My god!
I wouldn't want to allow someone to hit me.
No, I wouldn't want to allow someone to kick.
Kick
me.
Absolutely not.
I remember training with a guy. Just briefly a few times. He was a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah.
He's ex-bootneck, and he'd been doing Muay Thai since he was like 7 or 8 years old. And he asked me to pad for him.
Yeah.
And then we were doing. He was showing me a little bit. We had the old leg pads on and all that. And he said, "Oh, I'm just going to tap you on the thigh." And he did tap me. My leg was fucked, mate.
Yeah.
And I was thinking there was no pressure behind that, and I'm in tatters. That technique, even without any power behind it, it just broke me. And I thought, how'd you take one of those to the leg?
Yeah.
But the slap fighting, I don't know what to think about that. That is not healthy.
No.
It's not healthy.
You kill some brain cells there, aren't you?
And there's something about it. I find it uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
I can't. It'll pop up my feed on Instagram or TikTok or something, and I'll be like, I don't want to see this person get hit with that. It just not standing there and taking it,
You're definitely getting hit with that, you see. So, I started martial arts because I didn't want to get hit. I'll be honest with you. That was the main reason. Obviously, as you start getting into it, you get used to it and you realize, I'm not made of glass. It's not actually that bad. But I remember, as a younger kid, thought, I don't want to get hit. But to voluntarily just stand there and to take it, that's a whole different type of person, isn't it?
But you don't think that about leg kicks too?
Yeah, definitely. That's just equally as
Someone's
bad.
Getting their femur snapped there.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Like I said earlier, they're very, very effective. Leg kicks are. If you're stood next to someone, or you're tired in later rounds and people are chopping away at their legs, the kickers can be put out of action, which is a reason we haven't put them in. It's not, we want to, for entertainment value as well, and we want to see the best fights. I think our product, personally, my opinion, of what you see with the fights is more entertaining than anything that's out there, and I'll stand by that as well. I really do. You know, and our guys are genuine, like genuinely good scrappers, like as well. It really is. Don't get me wrong. There's always people might say, "Well, you're not doing leg kicks. It's not real. You're not doing eye gouges or biting or groin strikes in UFC. There's always another fucking raw you can take."
Yeah,
out.
no, I know,
Do you
but I mean I think the purists were saying if this was like 15 years ago, they would say nonsense. It's not realistic. It's not as close to realistic as you could. And I kind of got that, which is why MMA evolved in the way it did, and the UFC became so successful, and Bellator and things like that became so successful, because that was kind of the thing around it. What is the best? And then this MMA art materialized. But that interesting is gone. It's moved on from that. It's to what you're saying now. People are now, they're used to like front and center martial arts as a entertainment, either a 60-second, 10-second clip on or watching it routinely, like they watch F1 or rugby or football. But so it's entertainment factor now.
Absolutely.
What can be produced? And it's not, yours is, in my mind, yours is the only recent new thing that's developed where you think, fucking hell, that is actually different.
Now, if you watch the stream,
Yeah.
Even the last one's still up on our YouTube channel. Obviously, the next ones will be on ITV. It's people that don't even watch it love it, and they know what's going on, and you can just sit and be entertained because we're rolling the fights out one after the next. Do you know what I mean? And it's fast, and there's action happening, and I think it was about 65% knockouts or TKOs. So there's more are being stopped than are not. And I think it's probably going to be a bit more on this next one, to be honest with you, closer to probably 70. That's what we reckon it will probably be on average. That's a high statistic of someone that's going to get kind of knocked out or TKO'd.
Yeah.
And
you like to choke? No.
So you can grab, but you got to be grabbing. So if they go to kick, you can grab legs, you can grab limbs, but then you've got to throw like elements of judo. You've got to be able to throw them or sweep them. If you just stood there like tussling for too long with nothing happening, then they'll be encouraged to take action. Then they'll be split and they'll go again. So we just want non-stop kind of action. But some of the karate guys are brilliant. As soon as they got hold of you, you're grabbing your limbs, they are taking you to the floor, and then they're holding you. You can't move, and they're smashing.
Some of the what guys? The Thai guys?
The karate guys and the Thai guys.
Oh, really?
Thais clinch though, so not really allowed to clinch, but you can kind of tussle for a little bit, and they're not scared of being in that space.
So which discipline is looking at being the most successful? So what do you think? If you put your finger on it, what would you say is going to be the most successful?
I think the karate guys will be good, but on the last ones, they haven't been represented with their best guys yet. But on this next one, they've got their very best guy,
Jordan
Thomas. He's from London as well. He's Watford. Is it Watford? I can't remember. But he's from down south. It's all London to me. But he is the only karate champion to come from England for like the last 8 or 10 years. And his dad was a champion as well. So he's a real big name, and he's fighting a kickboxer. So they've got one of their very best representing. We've also got an Olympic Taekwondo guy, Mo. So he's fighting on that as well. And he won his last fight against a world kickboxing champion. But I think on the whole, on the last one, the kickboxers did the best. So let's see. This is the interesting thing, isn't it? We're going to see how it unrolls, and how it unfolds, and what styles do go against.
Have you got many female fighters?
Yeah, they're fucking brilliant as well. We've got the number 1 and number 2 in the world fighting, one from Slovakia and one from Italy.
In the world at what?
Kickboxing, Wacko.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Wacko. So they're fighting each other, so it's going to be interesting to see this one in the open. Honestly, they're fucking brilliant. And there's another girls fight as well. A girl called Asia. She's from London as well. She's a kickboxer, and she's fighting a ITF Taekwondo lady. So that's brought in a big crowd as well. So
I do like watching women fight. I do. It's because they're less likely to knock someone out, right? They just haven't got the power, but it makes the way they fight a lot different. I feel like the heavier weight classes in females, they're faster, they're quicker, they take more risks, and the equivalent weight class in the males, because they've got less chance of getting knocked out. They've got to do more to try and win the fight, not on points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yeah, of course.
Having said that, though, head kick completely changed that. A woman can generate as much power with a leg as a
especially it's all relative, isn't it? To the ones. I mean, that Kate, I think it's Katie Taylor. I think the lady she's fighting, that Asia's fighting. They're both nails, but they're strong, big girls as well. Someone will probably get knocked out in that fight, I think. But sometimes it's not just a knockout that makes the fight good. If people are well matched as well, because we were talking about the glove size, because we use like 6-7 ounce gloves. So MMA's 4, but it's not just.
I thought it was 6.
Yeah, well, it depends on which styles and which associations. But some of them are 4, some of them are 6. So ours, I think they're 7 to 6 ounce gloves. They're meant to be 6 ounce, but I think they're slightly bigger. So it's still, don't get me wrong, if you get smashed with them, as I said, there's plenty of knockouts. You're getting hit with bare feet as well, with the kicks and into the sides and with spinning back kicks and hit on the floor. So we thought about, the conversation came up about reducing the glove size, but then was like, do we need to? Because a well-matched fight, is just as good to watch as a knockout, isn't it? When people are just, evenly matched and they're both going for it and they're both, getting into the depths into the trenches and they're competing, I think that's great to watch as well. So at this stage, we're keeping them as they are with those, which is still a considerable drop from what kickboxers would normally have 10 ounce. But these are open-handed MMA ones, so they can grab, obviously, still.
Do you ever put a promotion like this together before Total Kombat? You ever done it before?
Yeah, I've done quite a few. Yeah. So,
but as an organization, put an organization together like this, no.
Yeah, well, again, we've worked with Andy Cleves, and we've done multiple different things before, but not to this caliber. But this is one that we wanted to step up. We know we can do small ones. Well, we'll say small. They've still been big, but big amateur ones with the same mindset of amateur. We're trying to make this a show now, and I like to say it's going on TV. We're at great venues like the O2. We need to raise the bar and raise the profiles and make the fighters famous. But with amateur fighters, it's quite difficult because they're so humble. Because you think of the martial arts values, which is what we're trying to encourage, but you also need a bit of drama and a bit of personality as well. So otherwise,
that kind of changed that. McGregor.
Yeah, I changed.
And before him, Chael Sonnen. And there's a bunch of other names. They kind of change. You got that sort of perception and that, what's the word? That stereotype of martial artists, especially karate and the old and judo and things, have been really humble.
Yeah.
And, grateful and respect the opponent. They kind of changed what was seen as a beneficial kind of personality type to have in the fight world when you're trying to make money from it, didn't they? They kind of made it okay to be a dick sometimes. Which, and again, I don't know how to feel about that. Entertainment value, amazing. But you go, oh God, just
lesser people are trying to imitate, and it's not very good to watch, is it?
No.
If you got a level of it's showmanship what he does. It's drama. It's a circus. But
he's natural with it.
But yeah,
it's natural.
Exactly.
As in, he's putting it on, but he's naturally, he sort of fell into it. He didn't artificially decide.
No, not at all.
I'm going to be this character. And I think if you don't have that within you and it just develops like that, don't bother doing it.
100%. This is what we're saying. That's very, very observant of you to say that, because this is a conversation we've all been having. And we say to the fighters, don't all try and be Conor McGregor because it ain't going to work. Because if you're a nerd, just be a fucking nerd. Wear nerdy stuff and talk about, but be different from everyone else. Because if you're vanilla and safe and you try not to offend, or you're trying to be not liked, not disliked, no one's going to notice. You're going to blend into obscurity and no one's going to be interested. So just even if you're an uber nerd, be an uber nerd. Do you know what I mean?
There was a fighter, right? A female fighter, and she named herself, I think she was known as the Peaceful Warrior. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know I'm on about?
Yeah.
American. And I first saw her on The Ultimate Fighter. And I remember thinking, she's too quiet. She's too quiet. Nothing about her. There's no dog in her. She was a great fighter. I think she was karate. Great fighter. I thought, no, man, she's going to go nowhere because she's so placid and she's always smiling. She's over the top humble, And she made a success it was the UFC. And I thought, it made me think, there is an appetite for that kind of stuff, because you've got one end of the spectrum, which are the Sonnens, the McGregors, the shit talkers.
Yeah.
And you got the other end of the spectrum, like you were saying, the quiet, nerdy ninja.
Yeah. Who's
just going to be nice and then they're going to rip your fucking head off.
That's it.
There's
whatever it is, you could have a stupid haircut or you could have a stutter. Whatever it is, just overplay whatever. Look at flipping Paddy the Baddie. He's just got a.
I'm on the fence with him.
He's just got a silly hairstyle and he annoys people. But
Yeah.
because of that, and he's good, by the way. I do like him, by the
He
way.
is amazing, yeah.
I'm just like overviewing and like, but because of that, everyone knows who he is. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I'm on the fence about what to think about his personality. I think,
But
God,
you
do
think-
I, do
but
I
you-
like him or do I not? I go,
Yeah, but you
oh
think
my
something,
God.
and that's good. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
idea.
true, yeah,
If you're thinking something, even if you're thinking, I don't like them. Michael Page, as we spoke about earlier, he went in and purposely really like he kind of was being really annoying to people and doing really stupid things and like knocking people out and being amazing but teasing them and a lot of people when he first started were very divided. I wouldn't even say they're divided, it was quite negative, all the stuff they said, and then they got divided, but they were always talking about him and he was always viral. And then now it's swung around, the crowd have come for him, it's all love. And but it was a great way.
Why is that switch then? Why did that switch up?
He's proven himself consistently now because there was loads of doubts about him because he'd just come over from kickboxing as being their best guy.
Right.
And then so Andy would play up more. He's obviously he's 10 years older now, so you mature and your style, his styles. Kind of mellowed a little bit. He still does a little bit of that now, but people expect it and like it, and he does it at the right times. But it was a very, very clever move and very brave of him to just weather the storm. He must have known what he's doing because he's a very clever guy. He's not stupid. But because of that, he probably got elevated to stardom a lot earlier than he probably would have normally at that level, which is extra stress on him. But it's also very good to have eyes on you because we're in a attention economy, aren't we?
Yeah. What do you think about how to manage the risk of young people, kids get into martial arts of any type, karate, taekwondo, whatever we just mentioned, training in it effectively, but trying to minimize the risk of getting a severe head injury or long-term increased risk of, I don't know, Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or something like that. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's actually been a death, wasn't there, very recently in kickboxing with a 15-year-old kid. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and that has caused a lot of questions to be asked. If they believe he fought a 35-year-old as well. So that shouldn't have happened. Juniors fighting seniors.
15-year-old for a 35-year-old.
Yeah, and it was meant to be light. They call it light contact in kickboxing. It isn't light, so it's basically full contact.
I take it they were the same weight class.
Yeah, they must have been the same weight, but it's still. And this guy was hard, isn't this 15-year-old? His nails, and I don't think the coach was like, "Yeah, put him in, let him go for it. Like his nails, he'll fight." But I think he might have been. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to speculate, but I think he might have been concussed from another show or something, and then got hit, and then repeatedly a lot, and then died. It doesn't happen very often. I've never known of it happen before, but now it's happened once. Same with the army when we had that incident with the SES guys that died on selection. Everything changed from that point onwards, and I think that's about to start happening now. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, especially when I trained in the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, I think kickboxing, the way we did it, even the points, because people think, oh, it's semi-contact. That's what some people used to call it. It isn't. It would be full contact, but with small gloves. So minimum kit, and you'd fight. You do like a Shark Tank, a minute, you'd fight everybody. And the people we used to fight with, everyone's a world champion. You're just getting your head kicked in for it. It's like milling, but flipping, you do it for 4 hours. Like you're fighting world-class people. And then you do burpees in between each round. So you're getting fucked. And you're fighting like 20 separate people, minute each on them all. And you're just getting more and more depleted. And there's no mercy. People are smashing you. You're on wooden floors, no mats, getting swept on bare feet as well. People kicking your face with bare feet. It was fucking brutal, honestly, what we did. And it wasn't just me. That's how everyone trained back then in those type of martial arts, kung fu, in karate, and in kickboxing. So things have changed now. There's lots of martial arts centers and mats, and people wearing more safety equipment, and people are managing them a little bit better, but not like they would with boxing. I mean, boxing safeguard the fighters way better than the kickboxers do. I've had boxing. I used to, Richie Woodall, the former world boxing champion. Mm-hmm. So he's from Telford, and his dad, who's passed away, used to coach at my place in my centre in Telford. And they went to another martial arts place where they were just sparring, and they were disgusted. And what the kids were just little gloves, smashed each other in the face. They're like, wouldn't happen in boxing because they're aware of the damage it can cause, and they manage it better especially with the juniors.
Yeah, I've seen it recent. So my experience, martial arts wise, in terms of gyms, is boxing. But first hand, is boxing. That's about it in terms of training, right? Oh, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? But it's not striking, right? So it's a little bit different. But my missus goes and trains in Muay Thai. She does it for fun. She doesn't fight, right? She doesn't spar and all that, right? But it's I won't name this chain of gyms that organise this stuff. But I went to watch her friend. It was a fight night. I went to watch her friend fight. The first time I watched her friend fight. A friend does fight. Amateur, obviously, but it's gym versus gym, and it was fucking horrific, mate. It was walking in the street. You know, when you walk in something straight away, you can see. Like I walked in, there was a fight on. Ref wasn't really paying attention. The ref was like, lol, joking around with people inside, and like, hang on, there's a fucking fight going on.
Yeah, someone's life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there was before she got in, there was a guy. So as soon as someone gets dropped, if someone gets dropped, that's it. The fight's over.
Yeah.
There's no winner. This is the level, right? There's no winners in these fights. It's like, competing. Well done, both winners. Well done for taking part. This guy got dropped. A fighter got dropped, went down, literally like out for a split second, got back up. The ref wasn't even looking when it happened. Turned around, and that's supposed to be his fight stop. Turned round, then he got dropped again. The ref thought it was the first time he got dropped. The ref carried it on. So this guy now, it's amateur, just a gym goer who does some fucking light sparring with a random coach in there. Is also fighting, got dropped twice, got dropped a third time, and then the ref only stopped it. And the ref is one of the coaches, by the way, because everyone was just screaming, yeah, stop the fighting, and dragged it out. And this happens again and again and again and again because of the lack of regulation. And I'm kind of glad my missus doesn't go into it, because I think you don't know what's going to go down these places. No. I was at another one, another Muay Thai one, a few weeks back in South London. Walked into the gym where it was going down, and the ring on one side, 1 foot right behind the ropes, was a brick wall. A brick wall, right? And when the fighters were getting to that area, getting the head kicked and all that, the ref was like having to jump behind me, and the ref was putting his arm out to try and make sure they don't crack their head off the side of the wall. You go, what are we playing? Yeah. Because some of the fights were brutal, mate. You know, because a lot of them are big guys who actually can fight at an amateur level, and you're going, they're bouncing their head off that brick wall.
Yeah.
Not good. I actually thought, on the kickboxing side, it was a lot more regulated, because most of the sports are like football, rugby, even the non-strike sports, football and rugby.
Yeah, it is.
You can't even train at the youth level. You're not even allowed to train them too much.
Yeah, it's all touch rugby, isn't it? I remember taking my lad; you weren't allowed to tackle and stuff until they were a certain age.
That's now a new one.
Yeah. So no, it is getting. It's a lot better now, especially WACO, which is the main one for kickboxing. They have just since then. You have coffee.
Do you want a contact coffee? Contact coffee.
Yeah, go on then.
Plug away.
Yeah. So after that incident with that lad dying, which we spoke, it was, unfortunately, he's from up north. It was on the national news and everything, but now they've stopped certain like juniors doing things, and they've strictened it up on everything. And good as well. Someone's kid, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know, if it's your kid, how would you be? You know, you can get good without having to do what we did. I mean, it was great, and I liked it, and especially when you're coming out the reg and that, like the harder it was and the more rough it was, then bring it on.
Yeah, but you can't train experience, can you? How many fights does that 35-year-old have?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know. I mean, I mean, again, we don't know the details, but I get you get like prodigies.
Yeah.
You know, but it's difficult to manage. You don't want to stifle the kind of talent coming through.
That's the thing, isn't it? How do you want to keep them motivated? You want to keep them engaged. You want to push them as much as you can. You can still spar that way, I think, but I think with the juniors now soon, it's going to really kind of change under 16s. Well, the class in juniors is under 18s as well, aren't they? So we've changed stuff a lot with our black belt. Cause my black belt is fucking horrendous. It's like P Company. You do it every weekend, but I've got 12-year-olds and that on it, and they're doing like you have to do 10.
Your black belt.
So the black belt that I run for my organisation called British Military Martial Arts was inspired by P Company and my time in the military. Yes, please, mate. Yeah, that'd be great. So you've got like, you know, you do milling, which is 1 minute. We're doing like, they do like 16 rounds. They do like 10 1-minute rounds with 5 burpees for a break. Cheers. So for rest, they get to do burpees.
Oh my God.
Then they do 3 2-minute rounds of like continuous. And then they do 2 3-minute rounds of full contact. And then they do 1 3-minute round of 2-on-1 full contact. When you're fucked and depleted, it gets harder and harder the more into it you go. And then you do a 5-minute round of grappling at the end when you're just fucked and you can't even fucking hold your arms up. But that's before, but 2 hours earlier, they do a hills run, which is basically keep up with me for 3 miles and then do 10 hills sprints at the end. And if you stay with me, you get an A. If you fall back, you get a B. And if you don't fall more than 3 hills back, you fail. And if you get within the 3 hills, you get a C. So that's
Where's the training area?
It's in Telford. It's like an old scramble motorbike area. But I had 42 people on my last black belt. It's
Really?
fucking amazing. We've got over 100 schools all around the UK. So we bring in, and now because it's been established for over 20 years, we've got people just coming through. And you've got these young kids now doing this exceptionally hard physical test. I mean, on my instructor training course, you have to do a log run and all sorts. And, you know, fucking, I've integrated a lot of the stuff from the military into my training program because what I did is looked at what I'd done and how that had affected me and tried to replicate the syllabus to kind of have a similar journey without having to join the military. So for your 3rd Dan, you have to do parachute jump. So all my 3rd Dan instructors have
Say that again. Hang on.
So the 3rd Dan, you have to do a parachute jump for my organisation.
Where?
Well, wherever they live, you know. I normally, a lot of the times, I come and do it with them because it normally
Like a tandem or something?
they can do either a tandem or a static line. It's up to them. So I've done it. Even my son got his 3rd degree black belt. He had to do it, so I jumped
What's
with
the
him
reason behind that?
because you have to do something that you're fucking terrified of and overcome it. So you know that when you get shit in life and you don't think you can do it, you can do it. It's a life lesson. I think it's not about fighting at that stage. It's about personal development and growth in your character, so you're able to lead. Because we want you to be good, solid leaders who lead from the front and then able to inspire people to want to do stuff rather than cracking the whip from the back when you couldn't do it yourself.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like you were only going to be able to progress so much within your ability if you stay inside your comfort zone. There gets to a point you've got to. Well, I think you should put yourself out of your comfort zone regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you do, you know, and that could be the same thing you do regularly to put yourself out of your comfort zone that you fucking hate. You know. And I suppose when you get to that level, you know, you're going through, what was it, 3rd Dan?
3rd Dan, that is it.
You know, there's not a lot those guys or girls can do which you're going to put them out of the comfort zone.
No, that's
Maybe
it.
a
Exactly.
parachute jump.
Yeah, well, that's it. Some of them go, I'll do anything but a parachute jump. A lot of them, and I go, well, you definitely need to do it then. I won't fucking back down. Like I've had people leave that because they didn't want to do it. So that says more about them than me. I'm like, you need it. Fucking say thank you. Like once you've done it, it'll be the best thing you've ever done because you'd have overcome it, and it's not as bad. You know, the monster behind the door, when you open the door, goes. You know what I mean? Once you've done it and you actually jump and you've done the jump, it's, you know, obviously your adrenaline goes and it comes up, but it's exhilarating, isn't it? Fucking parachute opens, it worked, and you land on the floor, you're all right, and then you're gobbing off down the pub about how hard you are and what you've done, and then you know.
Fear is a weird thing. I was in Wales on the weekend, and there's this area near my parents called Water. There's a point to this story, Waterfall Country, and it's like you go walking around this like valley basically, and it's a load of amazing waterfalls in the Welsh valleys. It's just cool, and just a load of waterfalls. And there's spots you can jump off from height, you know, into the big pools of water. And the last time I was there before that was with my eldest daughter, her boyfriend, and a couple of other people. And people were jumping off. And we were going down in the wetsuits. We were there in adventure training. An ex-boot actually was going to adventure training company down there, South Wales Adventure Training. And he said he will jump off here. And do you know John Bream?
Bream, yeah, I do.
The flying fish.
Rummy from the Meds. Yeah, I'm still in contact with him as well. He's a good guy.
Oh my God. Like, he was with us as well. And like, we're going to jump off this thing. And I am not the biggest fan of heights.
Yeah.
You know, I just, oh man. And I remember still at this top, and I was thinking, I'm going to have to do it once because I'm dad.
Yeah.
And I've got to just show, I'm going to do it. Yeah, cool. And to my amazement, my eldest said she would do it as well. I was like, holy fuck. And in my head, I was going, amazing. I knew she wouldn't be comfortable to do it. I love it. I love that she figured into it. And but just before that, John Bream was there, and he had 2 of his sons there, I think, and his youngest son, who was like, you know, 2-stone piss wet through, and you had to do a little bit of a run and jump off this thing to clear the fox below.
Yeah.
John just grabbed his son by the buoyancy aim and just slung him, threw him off. And I'm like, my God. And it was at height, you need to go in like your feet together. Long story short, we all jumped off. I was shitting bricks. In my head, I was shitting bricks, put on a brave face. We all jumped in. I was like, God, and to your point, I was glad I did it. We got out. My eldest says, let's go and do it again.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And I'm thinking, no way. That meant I had to do it again.
Oh, shit.
The second time was harder than the first.
Like, you know what was coming?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Do you know what it is, though? I think that it's the sensation of falling.
Yeah, that's not very
it's that
nice.
I hate it. I think that's what it is. But there's also an element of fear there as well.
There is.
Even though I know I just jumped into that water, I know it's deep enough I'm not going to hit the bottom. I know I can clear the rocks. It's only like an outcrop of about 2 foot below. I'd literally, even if I tripped over, I'm going to clear it.
Yeah.
Like there's something there. The brain's going, do not do it. But the result of putting myself out of my comfort zone and doing that, I mean, there's better ways I prefer to do it.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. It's the same as, it's kind of the same thing, the reason that, cold water dips or cold showers have the same thing. Obviously, got the physiological benefits to
Disgusting, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting, isn't it?
It is disgusting. I'm fine with cold water now.
Yeah.
Because I've got my brain used to.
That's why you should do it if it's disgusting.
Take the fucking pain, just take it. Just take it. And I know it's going to disappear after 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. The cold shower is different, though. The cold shower is horrific.
Oh,
I have to pep
worse.
talk myself, mate. Pep talk. I binned it off in the end. Because it would get to, got to winter, and I would get up in the morning and do it. And I was trying to overcome some mental health issues.
Yeah.
And I get into the winter, and the water started getting cold. I was like, fuck this. I ain't doing it. No way. No way.
Yeah.
No way at all.
Oh, no, that's...
What about, there's been a lot of, just randomly going off topic, there's been a lot of stuff recently I've seen about cold water dips have been found to not be great as a recovery immediately after exercise.
Yeah.
Which they thought
cool down. Or
for years, people are doing cold water dip immediately after exercise. Now they're saying it's not.
Don't they say now it's better to do it before or something? I can't remember. But yeah, you think it's going from being really hot to really cold.
I think it's the constriction of the blood vessels.
Might not be the best thing. I think it's good to do it in the morning, though, isn't it? It's like once you've tackled that, it's disgusting to do it in the morning. But if you can get it done, I mean, I don't. If I'm stressed or I want to unwind, I really struggle. Yeah, I really struggle to relax. I really like having a massage. I get annoyed when I'm having a massage. That's how I can't even feel, because it's fucking have to just sit there and live with my own thoughts start coming in, and I have to move and do stuff. I can't even put fucking diesel in my car. I end up putting fucking 30 quid in it because I can't be bothered to stand there and wait. And I know I'm gonna have to. Is that
the OCD?
I don't know what it is, but it's because I'm just fucking. I need stimulation, and so for me to relax.
Work on that, mate.
I know. If I'm zen, I can just about fill the tank up. But I need to relax. For me, I have to do stressful things, and then when they stop, I feel better. I really wish I could.
That's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, if I do a cold dip and a hard training session, then the training session stops, and then I've got the endorphins, and then I'm all right again for a few hours. Do you know what I mean? And then I can just about keep the fucking demons at bay, can't you? But yeah, I say demons, not really. I mean, I'm overstimulated. I work 12 to 14 hours a day. I need to be doing stuff.
Yeah, I can calm myself real quick. By just doing a couple of minutes of on the couch counting meditation, basically, just literally on the couch, close my eyes, lie back, relax, but knowing that I'm here to just chill out because my brain's going mental, which is most of the time. If I need to go from one thing to the other, from being on the laptop all day or doing X, Y, Z task, and now I'm gonna cook dinner. I've got the kids coming over. I'm gonna spend some time with the missus. I know I need to be paying attention to the people I'm with or going to be with as opposed to what I've been doing. And I don't want to be distracted because you're probably the same, mate. I can go and be talking to people. My mind is not in that conversation. My mind is fixing all the problems or thinking of all these different things in the background about X, Y, Z other tasks that I've got going on in the background, as opposed to being present is the phrase, isn't it? I find that 2 or 3 minutes on the couch, sometimes even less than that, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, the act of focusing on counting makes a massive difference.
I have siestas. So I have a power nap at most days. I've not been able to the last few weeks. Yeah, so I literally work from when I open my eyes to when I go to bed. I mean, I work from home. My office is in my house, and then I normally sit down with the wife for an hour at 9 o'clock. So I'll finish about then. But apart from that, I'll have food, but I normally bring my food in and do stuff. I want to. I go to the gym in the morning. Apart from when I'm at the gym, I'm working throughout the day, and then I will about 5 o'clock. Then I'll pop out. I've found a good hack as well now. So because I don't want to miss too much time from working.
Like this isn't going to be a healthy one.
Yeah, no. So it's if you lie down and you put your feet up and then you put a pillow under your knees.
Yeah.
So it disengages your back, so it's not like stressed. And then I can still work on my phone for a little bit, and it tricks your body because you lay down. It's almost like you're asleep. And at the point where I start to feel tired, then I can just drop it and fall asleep for 10 minutes, and then I can get back in it again.
You got to improve this. It's shocking.
Being the CEO of 2 companies, you see.
I was thinking, this is the way I thought that was going. Yeah, lie down, you put your feet up, and you have cushion under your thing, and then it releases the back, and then that changes into your brain, so you can actually switch off for 30 seconds. You're like, nah, you can keep working on your phone. Keep going, hammer yourself into the ground. My God.
No, then what I'll do, I will. Once I feel myself start to relax, then I'll push that aside. But I need some type of stimulus and noise in the background. So I normally have like something on in the background, and then I'll relax. That's when I'll relax in. The only time I really relax is in the daytime when I'll have a siesta, and then I'll get quite peaceful, relax, drift off, get a coffee. Okay, that's it, and then I'll get back into
coffee
afterwards. Yeah, then I'll get back into stuff, and it's like another day then. So I'm replenished. I got enough energy to keep going, and and then. But I do allocate time at the weekend with my family. But I'll work in the week is for working and training, and then the weekend, then I'll make sure I am with.
Are you still training
present.
in any martial arts?
Yeah. Train. I've had a new hip, didn't I? Like what we now? Yeah, nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I had a new hip. So I'm not able to. I lost a bit of flexibility since then. I'm not able to kick quite like I could, but I can still throw my legs up. And I've had a few sessions on the pads, but the plan is I'm going to get back into that quite heavily now, and do like a couple of mornings where I'll do like 6 a.m. starts, and maybe do an hour with one of the lads from the local gym, and do roll around, do a bit of grappling for a bit, and then do a bit of standing clinch, and maybe finish off on a little spar. Just so I can keep myself ticking over, and all the stuff that I have learned, just keep it going.
Do you do a lot of coaching still?
Don't do any coaching anymore now.
You don't do any?
No, I've got all my I've all coaches do all the coaching for me now. I've got a team of people and area commanders that'll do all of it. The only thing I'll do, I run the instructor training course. I run a 5-day instructor training course, which is a selection process for my franchise. And also people I mentor as well, because I mentor other martial arts instructors. So this is how the systems of how to open and operate a school, and then how to expand. Because I basically, got a model for that, which actually is. Oh,
you had a book. I didn't realise you'd released the book actually.
Yeah, so that was out about. I did when I got my hip done. It released it the day after. I thought that'd be a good idea because I'd be in bed. I didn't realise I was going to be drugged up. From all the drugs, but it was an Amazon number one bestseller for about 2 months.
So is it business oriented, or is it
very much so?
Is it
both? Yeah. So it's like it's business systems and processes, how to set up, integrated. It's put into military for themes. So there's 6 rounds. Round 1's red on. Round 2 is green on. Round 3 is advance to battle. Round 4 is the battle. Round 5 is the reorg, and then round 6 training and selection. So I've themed each one military, but then it's got a just to help with the process of a story. Really, you can learn things more, and it can become more appealing if it's a journey rather than just a fucking chapter name. And it's about how to go from launching a school to growing a school to then kind of pulling yourself back, training your team, replacing yourself, restructuring your business once it's got through to a certain size. So you then pull back from it, restructure it, pull yourself out of it, get the relevant people there, look at the structure of it as well. Like, is it a limited company? Is it multiple company structure? Are you paying VAT now? You got overseas companies, what you're doing depending on what your size is. And then it's how to internally recruit and train people. And then you then put them back onto round 1. So it's like a cyclical process, which you do train people to do, and then put them on, and you can kind of grow. But it's also interjected with lots of stories and history as well. And yeah.
So it's pitched at budding entrepreneurs or existing business owners, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So people that from all sizes, I mentor people. Some people I mentor have got one of the guys has got 7,000 students. Quite a few of them have got 1,000, 1,500.
Are they BMMA?
No, so these some of the high level ones are. That's my instructors, and it's other ones as well that come to us that want to know what to do, because I've obviously kind of leading it within the martial arts industry on that side of stuff. So I speak and do things, and I've got a podcast as well. I've done about 50 episodes, so a lot of that's martial arts and business oriented.
What's the podcast called?
Elite Podcast.
Elite Podcast.
Yeah, so it's a lot. I've got a few military guys on there. It's all about elite mindset, about winning at whatever it is you're applying yourself to. I do it because I'm inquisitive like you, and I want to learn. And it's a great way of networking, finding new people that you can learn from. And I've made some great connections, as I'm sure you have.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. The networks.
One of the most beneficial things about the podcast, well, the amount of time these things take.
Yeah.
Anything content-wise is so much effort. But the biggest benefit is being a network.
Yeah.
It's like you've got so many more quality people, knowledgeable people in my life now than I used to have. Which I when I think about like life goals in general, if you're young, if I go back to myself when I was younger, like one of the key things I say to myself is work on cutting the shit from your network.
Yeah.
The people you bother spending time with, they need to be worth it.
100%.
And that should not be misinterpreted as everyone you should try to get something from everyone in your life. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. What you want to try and have is not find the quality people. You want to get rid of the shit. The dishonest people, don't bother with them.
Yeah.
The people who will do you over regularly, don't bother with them. And by doing that, you end up with either neutral, decent people in your life, and also high quality people who you can either learn from or can benefit you down the line. But that's not the intent. It's fucking Billy Basic stuff.
Of course it is if you think about it, isn't it?
You forget about it. Yeah, I think these days, because it's so much easier to meet people and become connected to people basically because of the internet.
Yeah.
In a variety of reasons. I think we're just much less critical. We're much less selective about who we bother spending our time with. I really think that.
Yeah, because you got more choice, haven't you?
Exactly.
Before you didn't have much, have much choice. But yeah, definitely, you're the mean average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, I reckon. So if they're successful people, then you're going to be. If you've got 4 millionaire friends, you're going to be the 5th. If you've got 4 people that are drug addicts that you're knocking about with, guess what you're going to be doing on the weekend when you're knocking around with them? Do you know what I mean? It's quite easy it's easier to go down than it is up as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's easy to be dragged down. So yeah, it is important. And I actually was talking to someone about this the other day. I said, you've got to select the people that you spend time with. And you almost as well, and I've done this a few times throughout my life, is you almost outgrow your friends. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. And they can still be your friends. Like friends you went to school with though, especially if you become worldly and you go in the military, and you have less in common sometimes then, don't you? Because you know a lot more, you're more worldly, you've been to more places, you've had more experiences. So you kind of like, you find more people that are more in line with your current values and belief systems and kind of goals. And that can happen again then if you just continue to kind of evolve. And
yeah. Do you know one of the things I found over the last year, I stopped drinking like late 2023 for fucking reasons.
Yeah.
And one of the things I realized in the first 6 months was that the amount of time I was spending with people I wasn't really asked about spending time with, but I was only spending time with them because social occasion, drinking, whatever. It was huge. It was huge. I go out and spend a lot of time, social events, whatever, talking shit to people. Not talking shit, but talking to people. Which really I had no interest in being around them, really. Because I stopped drinking, basically made me more selective about what I want to spend my time at. It's like you get invited to events and nights and stuff all the time, parties stuff all the time by various people. The bigger your network is, the more stuff you get invited to. And I found myself in that first year turning most things down. And it made me realize, it's not because I don't want to go to the event. It's because there's no one there I'm interested in being around.
Yeah.
Because I still go out now. I'll still go out of an evening. I'll still go out like on the piss, so to speak.
Yeah.
But when I do it, I'm not going out for the alcohol. Obviously not. I'm going out because the people are going.
Yeah.
I really want to be around. They're really valuable people. I think most people won't ever realize how much dross they've got in their lives.
Yeah, probably.
Really, it was quite a surprising moment for me to realize
that's a big thing to do.
It also freed up a lot of time in my diary.
I bet. Yeah.
Mainly because I was drinking too much.
And then you're hungover, making bad decisions. Do you know what I mean? And then you.
Oh, they still happen sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, you still make bad decisions. But well done for not drinking. That's something I've contemplated it, but I just thought I enjoy drinking. I've got it under control. I drink once a week, twice a week. If I'm on holiday, I'll drink every day. But I can just stop like that.
Yeah.
So I can control it.
I didn't have that switch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If I can control it, then it's not controlling me. If it's controlling me, then it would have to go. But I just enjoy going on the piss too much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Back onto the business. So, mate, one of the things it seems to me since doing the podcast is that there is a disproportionate percentage of ex-military who are entrepreneurially minded compared to the civilian world. I think that's what it appears to me to be like. Bootnecks seem to be amazing at it. There's a lot of power edge guys who seem to be incredible at it. Like that would just be entrepreneurially minded and go about trying to become a successful business. Most probably aren't successful. Some are, yourself included. Do you see it like that?
Yep.
Is that really? You see the same
exactly
thing? I don't know if...
So military, I think the military sets you up, especially the elite forces, like you said, the Paras and the Marines. I know loads of the guys that have gone on to be multi-million-pound companies. You know what I mean? Security companies, and you're taught to be resourceful and solve problems. That's what business is.
Well, Lee Sheldon's up your way, right?
Yeah, I know Lee Sheldon.
You know Lee
Sheldon he's at Bootneck. My cousin works with him. Black Onyx, isn't it? Is that the company?
Onyx,
yeah. So my cousin Stephen Matthews, ex-1 para. Okay. So he's right-hand man. He helps him with a lot of the stuff. So that's Para Reg and fucking Bootnecks. So there's a lot of companies out there. Matt Elliott, Pilgrim Bandits.
Yeah.
He's got all sorts going on with all sorts of charities. They're one of the people that have helped with Total Kombat as well. So
the chairman of MGM.
The what? Sorry.
The chairman of MGM, as in the movie studio.
Oh yeah.
In America, he's X3 para.
Is he?
You know this?
No.
And every year on the promotions card of the autumn, there's two, isn't there? On the promotions, the seniors promotions. Seniors or the junior NCO. Anyway, on one of the NCO promotions, every year he sends a case of whiskey over.
Does he?
Yeah.
Mega.
For the promotions, yeah.
I love it. I love hearing the success of
blokes.
Blokes. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so the network as well that you've got from the military as well. If you tap into that, we actually raised from my network, we raised £250,000 to start Total Kombat as from the people I know, just that I've associated with so it's all military funded, and they're all entrepreneurs from Paras, SAS, Marines, and a couple of guardsmen as well, a couple of Welsh guards.
I didn't know. Shout out Jim, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was all military funded.
So it's great, and we've got a military charity involved as well, which is Pilgrim Bandits.
Oh yeah.
So Matt Elliott as well. So we're partnered with these guys. So
they're a beneficiary.
Say again.
Are they a beneficiary charity for the
So 1% of all the profits will go to the Pilgrim Bandits.
Oh,
so it's for a good cause as well, and we work with them. They bring all the guys down. Matt Elliott's down there, Big Phil Campion, and all of the guys. They're all down. So there's a massive network. All the guys that have invested into it, they're my friends. I go everywhere with them. We do stuff together, and they trusted in what we're doing. And nothing's more exciting than it's like a boys' club, innit? A fight show, and they trust in what we're doing. They're seeing the connections, and we're raising the next lot of funds for the company now. And the company is probably 4 or 5x already since they put the money in.
Really?
So yeah, we're going to be doing a couple of million is what we're after next for the next one. So
the 13th September, is that the first one that's going to be streamed via ITVX?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's going to go out live on ITVX.
Yes.
What time's the card start normally?
It starts at 7:00.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it starts at 7:00. So if you can't get down, I'm not sure what you're doing.
I should be able to. I was looking at my diary earlier. I should be able to get down for that.
Brilliant. Let me know.
I'll make it so.
Yeah, if you need some tickets, if not, I'll get you in Matt Elliott and all the other guys. You can sit with all them, or I can get you a Jim and everyone. That might be better. So just let me know who you want to, if you want, and I'll put you with all the guys.
Yeah, 13th September. I should be able to make that. Even if I can't make it, I'll be watching it.
Yeah, brilliant. Sure.
Right, I got a bunch of questions I want to get onto here from the patrons. Some of which carried over from the icebreaker. So let's just jump into these a second. Blah 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 blah. Okay. In no particular order. So we're looking at the questions from Coke here, the patron Coke. All right. these kind of dot about these go about different topics randomly. All right. So okay, after your brother was injured,
Yeah.
supporting the SAS, was he looked after well, and how did it affect him mentally getting injured?
So he didn't get injured in Operation Barras. He got injured after it. So he was obviously 2IC for the company that was supporting One Para.
I didn't know this.
Sorry,
by the
that
way.
was
Okay.
supporting the SAS.
Oh, I didn't know
So
this.
he was 23-year-old captain. He was 2IC, just got made up. So he was 2IC of the company. And when they landed, they were bogged down, weren't they? And
So for people not aware, this is
Yeah.
the operation at Sierra Leone to rescue the Royal Irish guys who got taken, who were captured by the West Side Boys.
that's exactly right. Yeah. So it was a young captain in One Para, comes to the company. That company was assisting the SAS. They landed. The OC got hit in the leg by shrapnel. Later lost his leg. So Danny, his 2IC, had to take over, rebuilt the momentum, got them moving, created some momentum. It went well. He got the military cross out of it. And he was kind of the blue-eyed boy for the regiment, really. And I think that was partly responsible for the SFSG, which the success of that went on to, help make the decision to choose One Para to become SFSG. Obviously with the support of the Marines and the RAF regiment. So then he went there. I think he went to Iraq afterwards as well. When he come back from Iraq, I think it was, the day he come back, he just went on the piss, and he, on his way back, he's walking down a country lane and he got run over like 70 miles an hour, got his tib and his fib broken both of his legs.
Oh my God.
He tried standing up as well because he's fucking that hard. So they're like fucking laying back down. And then I got a phone call in the early hours of the morning. I thought he was dead first. So we raced down to the hospital and he was fucked. They'd covered his legs though, but they hadn't operated yet because they have to like fit him in. So it was fucking horrible to see. He's my little brother as well. Do you know what I mean? So even though he's, well outranked me in rank, he was still to me my younger brother. So, but he is hard as fucking nails though. He was fucked. He was all drugged up in that. And then once he'd gone into the operation and they'd done his legs, I felt a bit better. Then I thought, right, now that's fixed. Now you just got to mend, haven't you?
So they amputated?
No, they didn't amputate. They
I
put
thought you said he lost
No,
his legs.
he put metal. Luckily, he didn't. They could have, but they put metal rods in both of his legs. He still got one in. They removed one of them afterwards. So that was his career ended really then because of that. He didn't really get any help from the military, but he fell into. He didn't fall. He started working for Garda World straight out. So he rolled out of the fall quite well. Worked for Garda World and worked his way up there, and has been extremely successful. He was head of like Baghdad for them. So he was constantly over there doing stuff, and he's pulled back to the UK, and he's doing bits of work with them still, but he's private now. He's doing stuff. He invested in the company as well.
Did he?
Yeah. So it's a network. He's my brother. He knows what we're doing, and he trusts. It's about trust, isn't it? And people kind of wanting to get behind you, but it was very humbling for people to trust in us, and also make me have to succeed.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it fucking is.
pressure.
It's like, do you want it? Do I want you to? But then I thought, of course, do you not trust in what you're doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of the things like with H Hour, it's it's worth a certain amount sponsorship wise, and I have had sponsors in the past, but only because they came to me very easily. Again, through network, and then through basically attrition, they've gone because the organisations they were ceased to exist.
Yeah.
And I've been asked a couple of times recently, like, why don't you get sponsorship? It was worth that. Why don't you? I'm going, well, one, it's effort. I have to go out and pitch people. Go, hey, give me your money and I'll give you this in return. And two, it's like the accountability. I put enough pressure on my shoulders as it is doing this in terms of the quality I want to go out. I wanted to go out, the pressure myself to sort of perform in inverted commas and produce this thing that I know people enjoy and love. I don't want the pressure of having to please other people as well.
Yeah, of course.
I'm enough for it. But sometimes, where business is concerned, you're like growth.
Yeah.
Grow and you have to have the money to do it. But that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Then pressure creates diamonds, right?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, I like to put myself on the back foot.
Yeah.
I know I operate really well under stress.
Yeah.
That I come alive. Do you know what I mean? When people are about to back down, I'm rolling my sleeves up and go, fucking let's go now. I'm fucking born for this bit. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try not to do it purposely to myself and self-sabotage myself and put myself in positions just so because I've got friends that do that as well. Got a massive event the next day and then on the lash until fucking 4 a.m. Then you're on the back foot trying to run an event. When I did all that when I was younger for years, I'm like, I won't do it now. I'm like, no, I'm going to be the best version of myself for this because I'm going to be on the back foot anyway. So
yeah. All right. Next question from Coke. What was the hardest time in depot for you? As in, so people don't know. I'm talking about power edge training depot. Yeah.
It was all hard. I mean, phase 1, you just got fucking thrashed.
My phase 1 was easy.
Did you?
Yeah.
We got 3 just runs and sprints, and we did. I think the final exercise for phase.
I say
1,
it was easy. Mentally, it was easy.
Yeah, I think we did like 3 P company events on the final exercise of week 9. So we went up to Brecon and they did the old penny fan form, back down, eat some food, and then the old 10K speed march.
Mm-hmm.
That for me was a fucking hard. They just sprinted and just ran off. There's like 1 or 2 of us left. So there's that one, and there was actually I remember the hardest bit. It was in P company build up during the summer. And you know Smudge from the bobsleigh team. Do you know Smudge?
Black Smudge.
Yeah. Black Smudge is well known within the reg. So we went through depot together. So and me and him and another guy called Jay Chambers as well, who went on to go to 22 SES. He was
Jay Chambers.
Yeah. Do you know him? He's in London now, X22.
I'm thinking of different Chambers.
Yeah. So the 3 of us were kind of. There was a few others as well, but we were kind of.
Screech, I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
You know Screech?
I know Screech. No, he was in 3 power, but he wasn't in depot. I think he was a year or 2. But
You know, Screech was a gravedigger before he joined.
was he?
Mate, he was a gravedigger, right? And he ended up as my section commander when I trained quite early on, and he was a gift when it came to trench digging.
Yeah, was it? I bet he was. Yeah,
mate, we didn't do anything. He dug the whole thing like a ninja.
Yeah.
Like a ninja, honestly, because he was doing grave digging before he joined when there was no machinery.
Yeah.
He wouldn't use me. He was like digging your graves with his shovel.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the hardest bit, we did a 14-mile tab as a build up with hill reps and everything, and it was it used to be able to. It was 30 odd degrees. It was
40 miles is a build up.
14 miles.
Oh, 14.
14 miles it was. So it's changed now what they do, but they used to overbuild you for P company, and then you get P company, and it wasn't that. It didn't seem like an easy week. I don't think they've got the same approach now.
It was so many injuries.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Crazy.
But we did a tab, and 3 of us finished. I think 2 or 3 of us finished it. Everyone got dripped. In the end, I think it was the PTIs. They ended up on drips. They were fucking like heat exhausted because back then it was like obviously in the 90s, 94 that was, or 95 it was. You could train in 30 degrees, 35 degrees. Like you could do whatever. You just like fucking get your water down. Yeah.
Safeguards weren't in there.
They weren't the same. So it was the heat that did it. And then it became a thing then. So I think they just wanted to just see who could get rid of. But I managed to stay on it. There was me and a couple of other people stayed on it. And then everyone else had dropped off. And loads of people had been put into the med bay, got dripped. I remember all the corporals got show clean for it. They all got fucking bollocked by the staff, but they're still on the training team and got that. Now the training team would be removed. Well, you wouldn't even get away with even executing such an event in that heat. That was the hardest thing I'd ever done. And then also Dynamite Mole, it was when you're digging for fucking a day and a half or something. And then they moved us as well. I think that we got moved and then we had to fill it in and dig again. I think that's a
Dynamite Mole is the final exercise that you do in power edge training after. So you complete P company, or it was back when I did it, complete P company, and then you do Dynamite Mole.
Fucking like people didn't tell us. I thought you'd done P company. It was like the harder exercises, the harder stuff you did was after. I thought some of it was afterwards on the exercises.
When you got to battalion?
No,
after P company.
Yeah, fucking doesn't stop.
Yeah, P company was probably. I like from fitness perspective.
Yeah.
I did much harder things in battalion than P company.
Yeah,
much harder things.
In battalion, 50 milers.
50 milers or combination. Like there was different combinations of things. Because you get different COs, different RSMs, and different company sergeant majors throwing stuff like and sometimes with the exercise as well. The thing is with that, you're saying there about everyone getting dripped apart from 2 or 3 of you. there's a thing that has to happen in depot or training when you're training to an elite level like that, or they're trying to train people to an elite level. There's a balance that needs to be struck between. Have to find a balance where you are pushing the individual to the mental limit.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to push people to the mental limit without pushing them very close to the physical limit as well.
Yeah, of course.
And everyone's got a different limit.
Yeah,
on both,
yeah.
Right? On both. You have to try and push the envelope on it. And how do they, I wonder how they achieve it now. With all the safeguards that are in place now, and how much easier it seems to be now not easier, how much harder it seems for instructors to push people to the limits.
They still do a good job.
They must still do it, yeah. I'm just wondering how it's evolved.
There's obviously more safeguardings, but the blokes and the staff do everything they can to still make it as tough as they can for them and make the selection as real as possible. P Company's still P Company, slightly different from when we did it. There's a 2 miler, no 10k. There's 10k speed march when we did it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That's not in there anymore. That was a good test as well, but 2 miler is a good test as well.
I don't think I did the 10k. No, I didn't have that.
Did you not?
10 and 2, 10 miler and 2 miler, and 20 miler.
Yeah, you did the 20 miler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was afterwards then, wasn't it? It was
you didn't have the 20 miler.
No, we did 12 miler and then a 6 miler. So you did.
Yeah. I would say that the 6 miler would be harder than the 20
fucking
miler. In all my time when I was serving,
Yeah.
I was
And that's a speed
one
march.
of the fitter
Yeah.
people. The hardest thing I ever found, and the hardest event I ever found like that, because it's kind of like middle distance in inverted commas for tabbing, was a 5 miler. And they had when I did juniors and when I did seniors, they had a 5 miler on both.
Horrid.
That was fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific. Because you've got to just. You've
like
got to
you do
do a
it
2
2 mile
miler
pace.
pace
Yeah.
for 5 miles.
Yeah.
And you're doing it in Brecken or you're doing it in Catterick. It's horrific.
Horrid.
The 10 mile is different because you can't do that pace. There's an element of not coasting, but you have to pace yourself. But you know that you're not going physically as fast.
10 miles of bread and butter stuff. You can get, it's uncomfortable, but you can get into a little rhythm once you get a couple of miles into it.
Easy.
But there's no rhythm with that. There's no rhythm on the 2 miler, and there's no rhythm on, like, you just can't, you just fucking
Did you ever
hang
do the
it.
3 miler?
No.
So the 3 miler came in. The 3 miler got introduced on juniors. It first got introduced.
Okay, yeah.
I think, and then like when I was a platoon sergeant, I started bringing that in instead of doing a 2 miler.
It's a good one.
I was like,
yeah.
One of the other guys did it. Would have 2 miler Tuesday, other platoon sergeants, and then we started doing 3 milers on a Tuesday for the platoons. Now, interesting thing about mindset, and you'll know a lot about this from your own experience from martial arts, power reg, and instructing, right, and coaching. I had a guy in the platoon. He wasn't a young Tom. He was an older Tom. 2 miler, he would fail every time, and he'd come to me from a G4 role, right, because he hadn't performed well. He was a junior Tom, got binned into the admin chain, then ended up coming back into the rifle companies. 2 miler would fail every time, right? Wouldn't be able to do 2 milers in 18 minutes, which is fucking, my God, it's easy. And you're a paratrooper, like, come on. We're trying to get him up to scratch. When I brought in the 3 miler for the platoon, he would finish the 3 miler, of which we had no target time, we just do it as fast as we can, but he would complete the 2 miles of that 3 miler in the 2 miler time. Right? So he'd do it. He would do the 2 miler in 80 minutes. But as soon as we set a 2 miler, he would fuck himself in his mind and he wouldn't be able to do it. And that is just perception of pain.
Yeah.
Like literally weakness entering the mind. Really weird. Really weird.
I used to do that with circuits.
Psyching yourself out.
Yeah, you pick a circuit that's hard, and then I'd double the amount I'd do, and you'd still get to the end because your expectations are bigger, aren't they? So maybe because he's overshot his goal, he's not even thinking of the 2 miles, is he? Because he's thinking of the 3 miles he's got to do.
Do you know what I think it is? Partly that.
Yeah.
I think also what it is I think it's long range thinking when it comes to understanding the level of pain you need to go through.
Yeah.
So, and I think this I experience this like in the sauna. Okay. I experience this when I'm training on a daily basis. When I'm like boxing and I go, train a couple of times a week at the local boxing gym. If I start thinking, oh my God, we're only 20 minutes into the session and I'm hanging out, it makes it so much harder to get through that session.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in the sauna and I know I've only done 5 minutes, I'm like, fucking hell, I find this hard already. I got another guy try and do 20 minutes. I say try and do 20 minutes. I fail sometimes. I got 20 minutes, another 50 minutes to go. If I'm thinking that long range, that makes everything much harder and I'm more likely to pussy out and not complete what I'm doing. Whereas if I try and change my mindset to here and now, get through the next 5 seconds, get through the next 30 seconds, okay, done. 30 seconds more, okay, done. 30 seconds more, okay. It's like short range targets, go. Okay, I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling as bad as well. Bang, go. I think that's what it is. You think, oh,
being present,
so much longer to go. Being present, in the moment.
If you think about it though, when I used to do really hard level PT, I'd love it. The thought of it, I'd shit myself. Once you were warmed up on a 10 miler or on the 2 miler, or you're fucking halfway through and you got a log or you're fucking feral and you're not thinking of it, you're just going. And I'd find like I was at home and it'd be a level of like zen and of being in the moment for me. And that's why. But if you're thinking, where's the end? You're fucking not doing it, it's the wrong mindset.
Yeah. Like on the boxing example, I started taking I got a new watch with heart rate monitor and all that. I started taking that in and wrapping it, putting it under the wraps to monitor my heart rate. I can go and look after and say, see how much it was peaking. But I found that when we were taking the gloves off to do different things, I was peeking at the watch. And then again, I'd be thinking,
oh shit,
than that.
Now you clock watching.
Bin the fucking watch off.
Yeah.
Because I'm not thinking about time then. I'm just thinking about getting through it.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on the drill that we're doing, the skill that we're doing, the spar, the whatever.
Compartmentalize your time into bits as well. That's easier, isn't it? That's another way of doing it. So you compartmentalize your thinking. Like when you're in the army to get through training, you do it a meal at a time. You don't think, I've got 7-8 months, because you'll never, if you're focusing on the end goal on anything.
I would never have got through if I
thought. You would never do it. But if you think about when's you get to breakfast, you've done breakfast, get PT done, when's lunch? Then you get to lunch and you go, classes we've got today, these are the classes. Then you get to your evening meal. Then you're doing your admin, do you know what I mean? Then, another day's gone, you get to your bed. And you have to just do it that way, don't you? And then, it's the weekend. So you're working a day at a time. No, it's the weekend now. It's going to be slightly easier. I'm going to get half a day off or whatever it is, and then you can do it. Is compartmentalize and then be in the present on whatever task you're doing.
I have never experienced pressure ever, as in external pressure. I put pressure on myself, but pressure ever in any environment as much as I did when I was in depot.
What do you about juniors and that? Did you not find that the same?
But I was
different person.
Built then.
Built. So relative then.
To your point, I'd proven myself to myself. I knew what I was capable of. I knew that I thrive under pressure.
Yeah.
Like, literally, bang! I'm here. I'm in the moment. I'm fucking good to go. Like give it to me. Like kind of like what you're saying. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Like I will fucking succeed because
that's the mindset.
I find when I haven't got a choice, I'll relatively speaking to me, I'll nail it. Right. Depot was a different kettle of fish. Just constant anxiety. Like constant, like you never knew when they were going to call you. You never knew what they're going to ask you to do next. You never knew if you're going to get a full sleep that night. That's when you're in camp.
Yeah.
Never mind out. Yeah. You never knew what they were going to find to beast you about. Yeah. Just horrific.
It could cause PTSD. If you think about it, massive insecurities. It must. It must
OCD. Maybe that's where OCD came from.
Start developing twitches and everything. It's fucking torture. If you looked, I was watching a video about the Geneva Convention, what you're not allowed to do, and I thought that's everything that they do with recruits. Like you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, And I thought that's all the things that you actually do. Can't do stress positions. Can't do whatever it was. I can't even remember now, but I just remember reading it and thinking that is what they do. They torture you. It's 7 months of mental and physical torture, isn't it?
And it varies by your training team as well. Right?
Of course it does. And that's nothing worse than... I remember watching one training team though and thinking, fucking hell, I'm glad we ain't got them. You know what I mean? Ours was somewhere in the middle. They'd give it you hard when it was, when it was needed, and then they'd ease off a little bit. But I watched someone think, fuck that. Just not...
I got to take a toilet break. I've got a bunch more questions to get through. Right,
good. I'll be back.
Right, we are back. I am back from my old man's toilet break. Okay, so let's come on to we've got a load of these questions, so we may not get through them all, Coke. I apologize. All right. What was your initiation into the paras like? What's it like being a new paratrooper?
Yeah, it was great fun. I was with
The initiation.
I was with B Company, B Company in 3 Para in Dover. And so the battalion had just moved there as we came over as well, and we were the new recruits that came there, and we had we got invited out quite early after about a month or so, I think it was. I know sometimes it can be a bit longer, but we were invited out. I think it's because there was a platoon piss up because we just moved over there or whatever. No, it wasn't. It was Giles Timms. Do you know?
I know Giles.
Yeah. So
what a mega bloke.
So I'm working with. He's my OC in 4-pack. Because I'm back in the reserve.
Mega guy.
So he was my original platoon commander in B Company. And it was his, I think it was his leaving do, was it? He was just moving to somewhere else. So because of that, we did it a little bit earlier. We did they got the bath, filled it with water, put all the cans of beers in there, and it was fancy dress. So no, it wasn't fancy dress. Some blokes came in fancy dress as nerds. It was like, I think it was Scott Morton. And a couple of other ones.
Scott as well.
Yeah, so
I know him from a long time.
Yeah. I think it was him, and I can't remember who else. It was a few others, and they were dressed as nerds and bad taste stuff. And Taff, not Evans. It was Taff. I can't remember which Taff it was.
I think you should stop name dropping.
Yeah, I probably should.
You might drop someone in the shit.
Yeah. So there was loads of people in fancy dress there. We did Dance to the Flaming Arsehole and all the rest of it, and then went out. It was one of the Dance to France. So it was a ferry, and you basically just go on there, go on the piss, and it goes to France. You get off, touch the floor, and come back. So it's about 5 hours or so over there, and it's a bit of a disco. So yeah, that was our first one out, and I just remember being out there in the environment, and obviously you got beasted, but they were pretty. It was pretty tame, really. There's no dicks there. It was pretty good fun. I remember just being with the blokes and just thinking, this is amazing. I'm never, ever going to leave. But then obviously you get the good side and the bad side. Mm-hmm. I did have one incident with someone there. I won't name him. He's a mate of mine now. But he was Senior Tom from Scotland, big lad. And he'd been in a few years older than me. He's a few years older than me. He'd been in a bit longer. And I had my kickboxing stuff was out in my room. He was all right, but when he's pissed, he was a fucking knobhead, like a real knobhead. And he's not though. He's a great bloke, but he'll tell you himself when he drinks, he was a fucking hand grenade. So he came in and sit on my stuff, and he said, "Oh, you do kickboxing?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Okay, got out. Nothing. No, not him. No, not him. No, a tall guy, a really tall guy." So I'll tell you afterwards. So he was all right, got pissed, and then I got woke up because fucking someone was knocking on my door. This is before the first piss up, this was. And he opened the door, and we burst in, and he goes, "You're the kickboxer, aren't you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I've done a bit like." He goes, "Let's have a spar." I was like, "No, I don't really want." He goes, "Let's have a spar." And he was already getting the stuff out of the fucking bags. So I was like, all right then. And then I gave him the stuff, I put the stuff on him, I put it on me, and I was like, these are the rules, right? You hit here, you hit there, we'll do it. When I say stop, we'll stop. And he went, okay. He went, you ready? He went, yeah. He went, whoosh. Just came in with his biggest punch he could have and tried to hit us straight away. So I moved around and hit him with a few things. And then I moved off to the side and fucking roundhouse kicked him right in the face. And his fucking nose started bleeding. So he put the kit down, left, and then left me alone. Then and then we became really good mates. Yeah. So that stayed between us. So I never mentioned anything to anyone else apart from that. But he's named nameless in that one. But Brilliant. it was great. It was good fun.
What's the worst fight you've been in, and what did it teach you?
Worst fight? Fucking hell, we had loads. We had a fight.
No, in general.
Worst fight.
Yeah.
What did it teach me? I got jumped from behind when I was 15 by someone. So it was a lad a year above me at school. I was doing martial arts then. He was a year above me. He was one of the Yarder lads in the year above. And we had a bit of a fight in the playground, and I kind of got the better of him, and he fucking was not happy with that at all. And then I moved because of that. There's a massive fallout with me, his year and my year. But I moved to London. Thank fuck for that, because it like went off, and that year split. They all ended up with war with each other, and it was kind of a chain reaction from that. I was like, fucking, that was a close one. And moved, it didn't work. My parents
kicked the hornet's nest and
and fucked off. And then my parents were getting separated, but they tried again. Moved to London. We went to London for a year. Come back. That didn't work. And then I came back and I thought, I'll go to a fucking different school. Probably not worth going to there with all the fucking dramas that was going on. And I had a stepbrother. Well, I had a stepbrother then because they'd split up, and he was not a stepbrother at the time. They just got together, and he was going to this other school called Phoenix. I thought I'll go there with you because he's like my good mate. And he's a year above me, and then that lad's younger brother came to our school, and he had. So there's no dramas with me, but one of the lads that I was with like started on him, and then he told his brother. Because I was with him and he knows who I am, they turned up at the school and I was at the town centre. I'd just gone to the town centre by myself, and he'd obviously followed to where I'd gone, and he ran behind me. And I can remember hearing the footsteps and then all of a sudden getting hit from behind, and he was with someone else. And then I turned around and started like fighting with him again. And it was kind of a stalemate. He was with someone. We're not really doing anything, and he fucked off. But I literally, even sometimes now, if I hear something from behind me, that fucked me up for years. That did, because I heard someone running behind me, and then all of a sudden you hit from the back of the head when you're most vulnerable. I just couldn't ever relax, and that it was almost like PTSD from that situation. So I'd never ever be able to relax, and I always think something from beyond. Sense. Yeah. So that, if you say the worst one, it would be that, just because of the impact that it had.
That kind of thing will rewire your brain.
It totally rewired your brain, and it made me. There was so much violence because I was like big for my age. I was 6'3" when I was 6 foot when I was 13. So I'm 6'3" now. 6 foot when I was 13. So it was always the older lads, and sometimes like they'll be 17, I'll be 13. I'm still a fucking kid, but they're treating me like a fucking man. So I felt very vulnerable, and that's why I started martial arts. Really, that's why I not joined the Reg. It was all to do with becoming the best version, because I wanted to be strong. I wanted no one to be able to hurt me again. That was my original goal, even that's impossible, because when you do become hard, you're just fucking constantly waiting for it to go off, and it's the wrong mindset. You have to, like, if you try to do something, you might make yourself physically stronger, but you're never going to be invincible.
It also paints a target on your back.
Yeah.
It's like the size thing, definitely. I got an uncle who's 6'9", and he's 6'9", he's not wiry, he's a unit, man. Yeah. He used to play American football. He's a fucking unit. And he would tell me the amount of people when he'd be out drinking would come and start on him and he's a super nice, chillax guy, for no other reason than they feel intimidated just because he's in the room with him.
Yeah.
And go and start on him. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
The guy's like a bear. It's like, it makes sense. And then, but also if you're fighting and people know you fight, you get morons that think they're tasty. It was
fucking nightmare. So I was in a place called Telford I grew up in as well, and it's like a working class place. It's the Overspills. They created it in the 70s, and it was basically all different villages in Telford joined together by one big town centre. It was the overspill from Birmingham, Wolverhampton and Liverpool. It was just loads of council estates that had been built, and then they started building some of the new builds. So it got no personality because it was all these old villages that didn't get on with each other. And one school, if you're in one side, fucking no one likes you. You just get beat up just from being in the wrong fucking side of Telford if you're a teenager. And it was a boy racer time as well, when everyone had the XR3Is, the RS turbos and the XR2s. And so as I was growing up as 15, 16, 17 and 18, it was just getting into fights all the time, every time I was out. And there was big gangs, really big gangs. And you were either in with them or we were just about on the biggest gang in Telford and one of the biggest in the UK. I was like friends with some of them. And then other ones would end up you having a scrap and you'll be fighting some of them, and then people are like ringing you up, and it's like if you weren't going to get involved with the gang, you're going to fall out with one of them, and trouble's going to happen. So to go into the Reg was like an escape for me. It was fucking neat. I felt safer. I was like, at least I know where the threat is, and that level of insecurity is what drove me for years, to be honest with you. It wasn't until I got into my mid-30s that I could reflect back. You do a bit of self-reflection. I thought, because I wasn't. A lot of it was from being scared and having fear and being insecure, but because I'm so obsessive, I just kept kind of trying to better myself, make myself tougher, and then I got to a point where I realised you're never going to make yourself that hard that you're fearless. And then
why was mid-30s the point?
About 33 I was.
Why? What happened there to change the mindset?
I remember I said earlier about the kind of the cracks in the armour. from being a paratrooper, because I've got out when I was mid-20s. And then I was a fighter, and I was doing really well, and all of the stuff on that. And then I started doing a lot of the meditation and the spiritual stuff. I got really deep because I'm obsessive compulsive. I read hundreds of books, probably first 100 was self-development, how to make myself better. And then it got a little bit more deeper, like, why do you want to make yourself better? And then it went down there, why the fuck do I want it? And then it was all like more spiritual things and psychology. So I was like unpacking why I was doing it, and looking at human behavior and really trying to understand myself. And that started to unpick things within me, and that massive ego that is a protection, isn't it? But it's also fragile at the same time. So I started to unpick that a little bit, and it just started to kind of break down who I thought I was, started to break down. Then I started to get quite like, because I would work really, really hard, train. It was really intense being that person. Like that, basically the short of it. It was exhausting trying to be fucking invincible and fucking really good at everything, and I was just becoming fatigued at being me. If I'm honest, I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes total sense, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that started to break down a little bit, and I started doing lots of exploratory things within like the spiritual things. I went right the other way. I went quite weird, to be honest with you. I was doing like 10-hour like meditation retreats and all sorts. I found the best because I watched in like every program that I could on it and read all the books. I contacted all the people. Some of them I met up with. I got paying them to like mentor me. Like that's just the way I am and the way I think. And I was chasing for something else then. And then I got to the point of pure like exhaustion in searching for something else as well. And I had a bit of like an awakening, I think it was. I don't like maybe it's a paradigm shift, I don't know. But at the time it just seemed like I'd surrendered and stopped trying to do everything.
What was the awakening? What was the epiphany?
It wasn't a conscious one. I just all of a sudden just didn't want to do anything or chase anything. I felt perfectly content with not having to do anything. I found it really difficult to even function, to put stuff in my diary, because I felt like I don't know, not that I felt like I was good enough. I think what had happened, I'd wound my mind into such a deep level of stress and anxiety that when that stopped and went away, because that's what happened literally, that I would say 70% of my neurosis and all my thoughts just stopped. And because through fatigue, I don't know, some people might say it's a spiritual thing, and I don't know now. And at the time I was convinced it was, but now, because this is like 15 years ago and it's difficult to remember quite back, but I know that I was never the same after that. So I stopped fighting because of it, because it
sounds to me like it was through my own personal experience, it sounds to me like that's the effect of extreme stress and pressure.
Yeah.
And your brain goes, fuck it, pull the plug.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, we can't carry on like this.
Something happened. It was like a surrendering of my mind. But if you look at spiritual teachers,
it's not healthy.
No. If you look at spiritual teachings, that's what they say. You go and search for something, you wear the search out, you really actually can't find it, and your mind surrenders, and then you find out that you're perfectly content where you are, and what you've been looking for is already there. So, but what you've just said is it's pure exhaustion from being that person and the ego and that character I was building up. And then all of a sudden I didn't care about that. So I couldn't fight because it didn't work anymore.
But were you content in that state?
100%. I was so content.
You were content?
Yeah.
Okay.
When that happened, it was almost blissful. So I haven't spoke to anyone about this really, especially in public, but it almost felt like,
well, this is nothing like my experience, so
no,
mine was different. Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
When I say personal
but
experience,
you get to the same place, but from different experiences. So it felt like, because I flip flopped for a bit, I'd be in this state of peace, like utter peace, contentment, and I wouldn't even need to train. It wouldn't matter. I wouldn't need to look at my diary. I was difficult to function, and then I'd go back to fucking neurosis again, and then it would flip flop, and it did that for about a year, and I'd go from states to states. And my wife thought I was having a nervous breakdown, and she's going, "Hey, you need to have this medicated." I was like, "No, this is like normal. I've looked into this. I spoke to people. I have to just weather the storm and let everything like." An equilibrium needs to happen again. I need to kind of rebalance everything. So
I've never heard of like this kind of thing before. So,
no, I don't think it very rarely happens, but it was just a form of exhaustion of my mind and being who I was that I'd got to a point of. And then after that, I did recalibrate. I couldn't fight anymore because it meant nothing. I had to be this. I realized what I was doing all those years was I was fear driven, and then I wasn't fear driven anymore. So I felt like I wasn't scared anymore. I didn't need to have this big character. I didn't need to do anything to anyone. I didn't need to fulfill anyone's kind of objective. And I just did that. Then I started kind of building momentum back into my work, but it felt like it was from a different place this time. And then because of that, and ever since then, I've been able to work at a level, and I can cope with way more stress than most people can, because I feel like detached from it. It's like it's a game. It's almost like before it was dead serious. Anything that went wrong was a drop. Now it's like that's part of the game, and I'll just get on, and I know things will work out in the end, and I'm able to kind of cope with stress a lot more than.
So fear was the driver before, the motivation. What is it now then?
Passion and love for what I'm doing. Sounds a bit wet, doesn't it? That, but
it does. That's
yeah. But what I mean is, though, it's the opposite of whatever it was driving me before. Yeah, it was pure fear before. Now it was just a bit more like I'm doing stuff because I'm good at it. I can add value. I can create stuff. I can help people, and I'm doing it, and it's a lot more enjoyable that way. Because I was successful but not happy. I didn't realise until I looked back. It's because I thought I was happy because it's unconscious pain that you're having. Until I think I had some work with a psychiatrist, and they said that anger is the bodyguard of fear. And I was like,
sense. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not fucking scared of anything. No, sadness. It's the bodyguard of sadness. I thought, sadness? I thought, I'm not fucking sad. Fucking sounds wet to me. Do you know what I mean? But then it played on me, and I thought, am I sad? And then you just start looking and thought, how do I feel moment to moment? And it's always a constant stress. I thought, yeah, I feel like fucking utter shit, literally. I'm winning, I'm doing everything, but I feel like fucking shit if I'm on. But then I became conscious of the way I felt. That's when I started to that's when things started to unpack. Because I thought, when you become conscious of pain, that's different to being unconscious of it. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense what you're saying. I mean, that's why a lot of people, just they keep themselves super busy, or they're chasing that adrenaline. I'm not saying this is everybody chasing adrenaline rush. Everyone keeps themselves super busy, but a lot of people who are like that, just constantly at it, fucking beasting themselves in different things. It is they're kind of subconsciously masking the real
100%.
the real situation, their body going on. Some people do it with alcohol.
Yeah.
Some people do it with drugs. Some people do it with work. Some people do it with fitness. Some people do it with fighting. Some people do it with base jumping. Fucking you pick it. They'll do it. A lot of people like that, and they won't ever realize it.
No,
until it's too late or they're gone.
Yeah. It's with dopamine hits that you're just constantly giving yourself something going on, so you can distract from how you're feeling, because they're unconscious of the fact that they feel like shit. Mm-hmm. If you feel great, you don't need to do anything, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's I suppose you can achieve. I mean, that drives you. Though. The counter to that is, all right, it drives people to achieve a lot.
It does.
But it's in the wrong kind of way, isn't it? For the wrong kind of reasons.
That's exactly what I was trying to say then. It was. So, ultimate success is how you feel moment to moment. I've realised. It's if you've got something, that's an idea, isn't it? Like, you could have £1 million in the bank, you could have a fucking Lamborghini, but you're sat here now, aren't you? Like, you'd still be sat here now with how do you feel while you're sat here now? If you're content and you're happy and you're enjoying the process, then you're winning. That's healthy, isn't it? And that's a good place to be in.
Yeah, I think the kind of best mindset to get into with it is, how can I be a positive contribution to the tribe? How can I positively benefit the tribe? I was going to say society, but really the tribe.
Yeah.
How can I use what I have about me, who I am, to at the very least not be negative, be neutral, or be a positive person? Where can I help out when I can? What assets have I got at my disposal? What knowledge do I have that others don't have? What experience do I have that I can help with and be a benefit? And you end up, well, take you for example, all of that that history of sort of fear-driven energy, but look at all that experience you gained.
Yeah.
And then you get this moment where it flips you, and all of a sudden it switches your mindset to benefiting and helping. You're achieving what you were achieving before, the same level of energy, right? But in a different kind of energy, much less degrading to yourself and much more of a benefit to the people.
And far superior. You can do it. You've got a proper reason to do it. Now, you can't go forever fear-driven. That wears you out like you did with me.
Fear, insecurities, yeah.
But I realised it. I thought, how could it be? I was a paratrooper. Do you know what I mean? I was like fucking super confident. I'd have done anything. So how could I be? But it's not that, because my ego is, I would, but it's the deeper level feeling within you, you know, when you drill down into stuff, probably from trauma as when you were younger, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the reasons why a lot of people, they still try, when they leave, whichever military they leave, they still try, years later, they still see it as a key part of their identity. You know, it's a thing that was a building block to who they are now.
Yeah.
But your identity is who you are now.
Yeah.
You know, I was a reg bloke.
Yeah. That's good.
You know?
That is what
I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that away. It's a hugely valuable thing. I'm very proud I did it. I'm very proud to have served at the time I served and did everything I did and blah, 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 blah. It isn't who I am now. Who I am now is how I conduct myself today, how I perform, what I do, and how I perceive myself.
Yeah.
Fucking got nothing to do with it now. You know,
it's a springboard, isn't it?
Yeah, people do it with careers they've had in the past, titles they've had in the past, accolades people do it with illnesses, mate. People will do with losses they've suffered. And you go, you know, it contributed to who you are now, but don't make it your whole identity. No. You'll never move on from it.
Exactly.
You'll never move on from it.
And you see blokes, don't you, that have been out for 20, 30 years, and the social media thing is the cat badge still. It's like, is that? I mean, I don't mean if that's one of you, that's fine, and you're watching.
People right now switching this shit off.
No, what I mean is though. And that's nothing wrong with that, because it's very admirable, because they're so proud of what they've done. But for me, I did it, and I've used that experience to then build and evolve more from that, rather than that being the only thing that I've done. Do you know what I mean? It's one of many things that I've done, and I'm super proud of it. And I'm obviously back in now, aren't I? As a reserve.
You're a reservist, aren't you?
Playing at it. I know I'm playing at it. It's not the same as being a current 25-year-old. Do you know what I mean? They're still, you know, absolutely fucking nails, aren't they? And you know, and current on everything. I'm playing at it at this stage, but it's fun to play.
Yeah. Right, we got another 6 questions to finish this off. Okay. I'll use an interesting one. How does the culture, this is from Coke, how does the culture of the martial arts world compare to the culture of the Parachute Regiment?
Very similar. The way I've conducted at top level elite fighting, it was very, very similar.
In what regard?
Because we're the best, mindset of the best, outwork everyone, do everything more than everyone else. Because I became part of a fight team called Top 10 UK, which was one of the best fight teams in the world. So we recruited only the very best, and we thought we were better than everyone else. So it was exactly the same on my black belt. I made my black belt harder than everyone else's, and I, you know, held people to high standards. And my instructor training course is one of its type. It's still going now, and there's no one that's got anything similar to me at all in the UK.
Why isn't anyone else done it the same way as you?
I'm sure there's other instructor training courses, but they wouldn't get anyone on it and pass them through it. Do you know what I mean? Unless they've done what I've done to the same degree. To get lots of people, I've had hundreds of people through my instructor training course, and hundreds of people through my black belt. So getting people through such a hard test you develop a culture in order to do that. Otherwise, they just won't do it. Why would anyone want to do that? You've got to believe there's something after that that's worthwhile doing. And you do. I use the kind of, you know, with the beret. So you see the depot instructors as fucking supermen. They're great at everything. They're fantastic at everything they do. You're shit. You know nothing, you know, and then you pass company, P company, you get your beret, you go to battalion, you get your wings and everything, and then you elevate your self-image to that of theirs, because you're now part of the brotherhood. Mm-hmm. So our black belt's the same. They get to wear a black suit and a black belt afterwards. They have to have a different colour suit. On the gradings, they have a number, bib. They're referred to by their number, not their name. Once they get through the process, they're then part of the black belt team.
A lot of this is resonating, yeah.
Do you see? Yeah. So there's to answer that's a very similar culture for me and my experience.
Yeah. Would you say, so another question, would you say paras, well, let's generalize it, elite units find it easier to transition into the civilian world or harder,
harder.
than other military units?
Yeah, harder.
Harder, you think?
Yeah, I think so. In some ways, it depends on what you do. So if you continue to be elite in whatever you're doing, continue that mindset through afterwards, then it's easier because you're more likely to succeed. If you've done what I just said earlier, something that's so amazing in your life, and then afterwards it's like a step down from that. If you're not doing something that's at least the same level, then everything's going to be an anticlimax in your life afterwards. And I think that's what some of the blokes suffer from, which is
that's the case for most people.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say. And it's a real shame because they've got so much potential if they were just to try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a realignment of purpose, right? We go from being in a situation where our purpose is given to us, it is clear to us, it is drilled into us from day one when you join the military, and your purpose is to basically be a good member of the team or the unit you're in. Your fire team, your section, between your company, battalion, your regiment, your corps, whatever you're part of, and it is to. And it's to do what you've been trained to do. Basically, it's very clear.
Yeah,
it's very clear. And if you step outside of what is expected of you, it's very clear what will happen.
Yeah,
you're fucking outcast, right? So you're rewarded very well for doing what you're taught to do and being a good part of the tribe. And to your point about elite units, you feel special. Even non-elite units, right? Like British Army, any part of the British Army, any part of the Navy, RAF. You were doing something in those units. You were doing something that most other people, in your peer group, your age across the country, they ain't doing it.
Yeah.
You're already doing something different. You've already put your name down on the dotted line to join the British forces. Then you've got through training and you've succeeded. Now you're into a unit. Most others won't do that. So straight away, you're setting yourself apart. You're meeting a higher standard than civilian counterparts are, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing high pressure things at a very young age, comparatively speaking.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you step out, and you don't have that anymore, you're not special anymore, right? And that purpose that you didn't realize you had is ripped away from you.
Yeah.
And then what you try and do, I think a lot of people do, is they try and artificially assign themselves a new purpose.
And it's not going to hit the spot.
You can't do it. That's what I try to do. You can't. I don't think you can do that. I think you basically end up. It'll come. That purpose will come naturally.
Yeah.
For some people, it comes real quick. Other people, it takes longer. For some people, it's literally just to chill out, have a job, pay the bills, chill out for the rest of their life, and live a decent life. For other people, it's I need to feel the same way I did when I just passed P Company.
It's very difficult.
When I just come off this operation, when I just done X, Y, Z.
That's such a high bar level.
I think that's what most people strive to do. Though.
Do you know why as well? Because it is dopamine.
Yeah.
And it's fucking it's a really severe and extreme lifestyle, isn't it? There is that, right? Sorry to jump in. There is that, but it's also when you're in the military. Yeah.
It is very clear what position you hold in the community, in society.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, the position you hold and the authority you hold and the respect you are given is a product of probably three things. It's or three or four things. I'm going to say like the operations you've been on, the training, the qualifications you've got, training qualifications you've got, the unit you're part of, and the rank you're part of.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff which isn't so quantitative, right? But that stuff is like you can literally go. Okay, a sergeant is more respected in the military than a private is. Absolute rule, absolute given, right? And so it's very clear where your position in the world is.
Yes.
Right? Now, factor into that whether you're a bell end or not. There's other things. You really fit on other things, but it's really clear where you sit. It's really clear what's required of you. It's really clear to you what you need to do just to go up the ladder. And when you go up the ladder in professionally in the military, that also takes you up the ladder socially in the military because you're eating, living, breathing, shitting, pissing the job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? When you leave the military, all of a sudden you're out of that unit you're part of and you go, fucking hell, I'm just normal now.
Yeah.
No one knows I was putting the paras. No one knows I did the X, Y, Z call. No one knows I was a jungle warfare instructor or I wasn't, by the way, but you pick these things, so you go you're straight into an unknown. You got no idea. You've never been in the civilian world. Most people have never been in the civilian world as an adult before.
No.
Until they're 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 sometimes. And you go, what? And for me, mate, I didn't have a clue. It took me years to understand.
How old are you when you got out?
I'm 30.
30, I
30
see,
I
a
got
man.
out.
And you'd
I
never
didn't have a clue,
experienced the world. Then
I didn't have a clue, mate. It took me years to understand.
That must have been a fucking horrible experience.
Horrible. I'd say my transition was about 8 years.
But yeah, that's
And
right.
it was hard.
Feels like you're on leave still, for ages. Do you know that? So you're on leave for like 8 years, and then you go. Then you get to the point where you've been out longer than you're in, and thought, wait a second. Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh my god, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Okay, what have we got? Is there a supportive community from other ex-military who've gone public? What does it mean, gone public? Or is it everyone for themselves? I don't know what it means by gone public there.
so military community. Yeah, Have I got one?
Yeah, just supportive military.
Yeah,
community,
really. Like I've just said, some of the people that we're associated with have just invested into the company. There's a big group of us that are veterans that knock around together and can just kind of decompress. And generally, it's with alcohol or going away for a couple of days, bit of adventure training, doing something like that, getting a campfire. That's what we do. And then we'll just go on the piss extensively and just talk shit and take the piss out of each other and just, do all the stuff that you did when you were in. But then also be there for each other as well and support each other whenever's needed. But yeah, I'm lucky to have that. I never had that for ages. I got out, I lived in Telford, built everything up in Telford. Then I moved to Chester, lived there for 10 years. I never even spoke about the military. For when I got with my wife, I was out then. I'd been out a couple of years. I didn't even really speak about it because I was just straight in to what I was doing. So she didn't really know that much about it. She knew what I was in. She knew what I knew about it. And she knew a few other people that were paras and what they're about. But it wasn't until I went to Andy Wadder's funeral. Remember how long it was? About 10 years ago.
Was it that long?
Probably. Maybe 8. Yeah, it must have been.
Bloke, mate. What a mega
So,
bloke.
yeah, so I went to his funeral and I reconnected because I didn't have Facebook or anything when I left and all numbers had gone. So I'd lost contact with everyone, went to his funeral, got on Facebook a couple of years before that. And that's how I found out about it. And then I started reconnecting with all the different people, but they're all sergeant majors and stuff now. I was like, fucking hell. So I went to Wadder's funeral, connected with loads of blokes again, met some of the lads there that invited us to sergeant mess for like people dining out or got invited to the boxing. And I got to reconnect with that part of the military again and kind of fall back in love with it. And remembered it all and seen all the guys and reminisce. But I'd literally just been that on it with my own. I built my own army. Do you know what I mean? And when you leave the army, it's like a toxic relationship, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. It's a love-hate thing. By the time you get out, it's like getting out of a relationship, isn't it? Everyone's out of it. So everyone's had a fucking enough. By the time they get out, you've had enough the year before, haven't you? And then you're going to leave and then you're not. And you do it a few times. Now, I'm fucking definitely, it's like a relationship. And then I'm definitely done. And and you're done. And then you've got another year to wait. So by the time you're out, you're out. So I've put that behind me. Learned the lesson from it, was proud of it, but just moved on. And then it was that really opened that can of worms up for me. And then started reconnecting with some of the blokes again, started wearing reg tops. And Mrs. was like, what's going on here? And then we moved to Liverpool. And then
you wearing pink stuff.
Yeah. And then I moved to Liverpool and connected with a guy called Danny Walker, who's 2-para. Do you know Danny?
I thought Danny Walker, 3-para, wasn't he?
Yeah, 1-para and 2-para. The one I know is 1-para mortars and then 2-para mortars.
Okay.
So he's younger than me. He's like 35. So moved to Liverpool just because of social media. He saw I'd gone there. I was reg. We both sponsored the bobsleigh team. It was. So I went for a coffee with him, and he's like fucking Del Boy of Liverpool. Knows everybody, and he goes, "Oh, there must be 50 blokes in Liverpool." And now I moved there, and all of a sudden I've got all these friends that are probably a lot of them are 10 years younger than me, or at least 5 years, 10, 15 years younger than some of them. And I just reconnected back with the regiment when I was there again. It was a really beautiful experience. And then seeing all the blokes and everything, it really kind of reignited that. And
Danny Cooper, I was thinking.
Danny Cooper. All right.
Sorry, yeah.
And then 4-para moved to Ulcart, which is where I live in Hightown. So they moved 400 meters from my house when I was 42. And I was like,
that's an omen.
And I said to my wife, fucking thought about it. I might join back up. She was like, absolutely fucking like, not. You're busy enough as it is. And like, I think it took me a couple of years. I was like 44, and like, I think it was, about 44 in the end. And I convinced her, and then I did it. And then, but then because I was over age, it was 42 before your 43rd birthday. It used to be, but they appealed against it, and then I got rejected 6 times medically because of fucking things to do with mental health, things to do with injuries. Like when you join up when you're fucking 17, you've got no medical record, but then it was like that. So then I had to disprove everything, and fucking took me like 2 years to get in, and then COVID happened and it delayed it. So by the time I started, I was fucking 45 years of age.
Oh my God.
I was 42, like nearly 43 when I started, and I could feel myself getting older. And like you could feel at that age from like 42 to 44, I felt like I was getting less enthused, and I'd committed to it now. So then I joined up, did the training, but I had on the build up, get myself fit again. And I was like, well, it's easy. I'll just fucking run every day. It's like I used to before. That is not happening when you're 45 years of age and you're like 18 stone, 17 stone. Like my fucking calves were popping, my knees were going. I thought, right, I cut my carbs out. I had carbs once a day, did loads of uphill walking. My hip was fucked, started hurting. And then I got an x-ray and found out I needed a new hip. And I was about to start the Carders, which is 11 weekends, every other weekend, and then 2 weeks at Catterick. And it was before that I'd found out. And I was like, well, I can't, I'm going to have to just get through it. If I stop now, I won't get in. So, but it just got worse and worse through it as well. And in the end, by the time I'd got to the later weekends into Catterick, it became a survival task. I'm just going to get to the fucking end now. I had all sorts of aspirations of being like, wanted to be there, be the fittest there again still. So I was like one of the fit, but I'm going to go in there, I'm going to show them what to do. And don't get me wrong, I was still in the top third on all the fitness still, but I wanted to be right at the front. Do you know what I mean? So, in perspective, it was good, and then I went to Catterick, and it was absolutely fucked by then. So, and as soon as I finished Catterick and did the 2 weeks there, I come back, and then I literally got the operation done. But I'd worn through. It was bone on bone, and I'd worn through the nerves. So it didn't even hurt in the end, and I'd carved out a whole of the fucking space because it was bone on bone. So my leg was just locked out in the end with no pain, which is even more worrying. So they had to like build it all back up and everything. But
oh my God.
Doctor said, fucking hell, it's a right state. So yeah, that was that. So, and now I'm back in the training
like
team.
What happened to you mentally at that 33-year-old point, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
You just like cracking on, carving out space, brain locked up.
Yeah. I say to my family, like, you get, things are hard, but they're always hard in the ways you don't want them to be. I wanted to do something hard again. That's why I did it, because I wasn't fighting anymore. I needed some significance in that way. But it gave me the challenges in all the ways I didn't want to have them. Do you know what I mean? Like having an injury and all that. But I just still did it, and I did all the fizz. I didn't drop on any fizz.
I think that is why regularly putting yourself out your comfort zone is a really important thing.
Yeah.
You know, because for people in general who struggle with a sense of purpose, things like this, I think just put yourself out your comfort zone regularly.
Yeah.
I really think so. Like give yourself pain regularly, like healthy pain.
Yeah.
Physical. Put yourself out your comfort zone mentally in different ways. You know, if you don't like public speaking, go and do some public speaking.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't like doing fucking burpees, give yourself a target of doing 100.
Yeah.
If you don't like the plank, say yourself you're doing 2 minutes of it every morning, every lunchtime.
Don't like cold dips.
Because you can do little cold dip. You can do these little things. And just I think when you put yourself outside your comfort zone, you do something you don't want to do, you're proving to yourself, you are good. You can take pain, you can take discomfort, get through it and crack on straight after it. I really think it's super important.
Yeah, remind yourself.
Little fixes are really, I think those little things build up to put big fixes in place mentally.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the things that really helped me. Really helped me. I struggle with a sense of purpose a lot.
Yeah.
And when I sort of had an epiphany moment where it's like, I don't know, the epiphany moment was I can't just give myself a sense of purpose. One of the reasons the podcast started was partially like I need to be doing something that is beneficial to people, and I want to be drawing information, experiences out of people. I want to share my insights and stuff like that. It didn't fix it.
It didn't.
No, it didn't. It didn't
help at all.
Oh yeah, it did, but through long term learning from people, learning how they got over things mentally, learning that I'm not the only one who did some crazy shit in my background. Everyone's done crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective and relativity, and especially where the military is concerned. Anyway, what I found was the biggest thing I found is that giving myself, when I was at my worst, is that set myself little tasks, things that I didn't want to do, felt like not doing, and we're talking basic stuff here, Lee. We're talking like brushing my fucking teeth twice a day. We're talking about doing the dishes straight away when I'm doing, all the, the signs of someone who's really struggling mentally. You walk in, the house is a shithole, nothing's cleaned, like they're literally not in a good state. They're visually not. That was me. I was real bad, and I started setting myself little tasks, and it was the first one was literally, when I wake up in the morning, brush my teeth. Before I go to bed in the evening, brush my teeth. Literally, because I wasn't even doing that, right? Wow. Basic hygiene. I started doing that, and the first day I did it, and it was an absolute effort to get myself to brush my teeth before I went to bed, because all I wanted to do was get into bed and curl up in the ball and fucking die, mate. Brush my teeth. I immediately felt good for doing it. I woke up in the morning and thought, I did that thing yesterday that I didn't want to do. I fucking did it. I felt so much better. And I said to myself, you're going to do it again today. You can do it again today, and you're going to give yourself another task. And the next task, I can't remember what the next task was. It was either like make my bed, or it was like do the dishes straight away after I've eaten. I did that again. And these little things, which to people listening now are going, that's Billy Basics. Yeah, it is Billy Basics. When you compass mentis, not when you're in shit state. But doing these little things, to me, they were uncomfortable to do. I was doing them, so I was achieving something which made me feel It made me feel valuable, elevated me just a little bit, and I carried it on until I got to the point where I was just normal again.
That's brilliant.
And it wasn't a sense of purpose question, because I was just like, yeah, I exist, I'm here, I can do things, just fucking crack on. I think
Jordan Peterson says something similar about cleaning your room.
It was Jordan Peterson who gave me the epiphany.
Was it?
It was reading his book.
Tidy your room first before you want to change the world.
It was reading his 12 Rules for Life.
Yeah,
and that's what I thought.
Fucking great. It's helped so many people.
I assign myself a sense of purpose. Just going to give myself a task and achieve it. And it's one of the first things I say to people now who are really struggling. Right, to give yourself a little task, achieve it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to mean anything to anyone else. It just needs to mean something to you. You fucking do it. And you've done it. Tick. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. Move on to the next mission. Mate, it's been a real pleasure, dude. A real fucking pleasure. I knew I was going to enjoy the chat. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would.
Oh, that's good. And me too, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be a good listen for people.
Great coffee as well.
Yeah, contact coffee.
Yeah.
Right. How can people get the book first?
Amazon. It's called Elite Martial Arts Instructor. It's obviously an operations manual for martial arts, but it's not. If you're in any type of business, there's loads of stuff in there as well. But it's also half of it is a book and a story as well.
I'll pick up a copy for you.
Yeah. I've got a copy for you here, mate.
Sure. Thank you very much.
And then also get hold of me, Lee Matthews Official on Instagram. That's probably the best way.
You're not TikToking it yet?
I've got TikTok as well, same Lee Matthews Official, and I've got Lee Matthews Official on Facebook. So all of them, yeah.
What about Total Kombat and BMMA?
So, so totalkombat.com.
Combat with a K.
With a K, that's right, yeah, Total Kombat with a K. We're all over everything, so if you do that, British Military Martial Arts, that's the name of the website.
ITVX, folks, watch it on the 13th September if you don't pick up tickets first. Are the tickets on sale now?
They are, yeah. You can get them, just go on the website.
Mega.
Pick them up.
Mega. Good luck with everything, mate. Anytime you're down this way, jump back in the studio.
Thank you, mate.
Crack on again. Cheers. And there is a bunch of people on your roster and a bunch of people in Total Kombat, mate. I'd love to interview. So we'll just chuck them my way. We'll get them.
Definitely. We'll do, mate. Thank you.
Good luck.
Cheers.